We're live. Chatfishes. Chatfishes. Hello and welcome to another bunchcast. It's me, that guy you know, and these other people you might know. That's not a great answer.
I don't like that guy.
I don't like that guy. Damn. Okay. Well, that's where we're going. It's me, Kib.
He's really full of himself.
We got
Calls us the
Reguline,
Kibcast.
Rapier, Hands, and Bucky. There's none in there. Welcome.
Is there?
They all tried to make me as late as possible by constantly distracting me, by the way.
We did no such thing.
They
Yeah.
did. We were borderline ready. Shut up! We were borderline ready to start the stupid stream like half an hour ago. And he's like, "Oh, do this. Oh, can you do this? Oh, can you do this? Oh, can you do this?" It's like, "Oh my fucking god! Shut the fuck up!"
I'm making an executive decision.
Yes.
They don't get to see this. It goes away from the stream chat.
It goes away
Guild
from
does
the...
not
No,
take
I want
your
to see
orders.
it now.
I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna give you a goofy hat and then destroy you. We need Bucky in a guild outfit, please, chat. We need to fund that. Jesus Christ.
But I can't get the goofy.
We can
hat,
actually
James.
update. We can update the roaches to be.
Gives you just mad. That's all.
You just got a little head.
Kids, I can't get
Look
the
at
goofy
me.
hat.
No
I'm
one
not-
added everyone. Or are we
I'm
adding
not a
Bickering
member of the
Guild?
spacing guild,
Everyone.
so I didn't get the
Everyone.
goofy hat.
Volunteer missionary.
Man,
welcome
I'm
to
not
stream.
part of the spacing guild. You can't.
Not part
you
of
can't
this
do that.
meeting guild. Part of the
The
Bucky.
guild does not take its order from you.
Okay, pork chops.
That was awful.
That
Shut
was
the fuck
bad.
up.
Please, never again. So,
What
we've got some
happens
things to
if
talk
I'll take
about.
off here?
Now, the citation of the channel I'm looking at, by the way, is this is Colt Eastwood. Don't know what it is, but I just pulled it up because, you know, it's what we had.
Check them out after the stream if
Yeah.
you're interested in watching it.
So
yourself.
basically, they announced in the Xbox Live thingamajiggers, they're announcing a Fallout 3 remaster, which is really cool, which means we'll actually get
Told
to
ya.
play. What? Shut
I
up!
told you.
They're making a Fallout 3
sounded all by
remaster. We've
himself.
known it for a while. It's coming. That's going to be the big thing that's going to be coming. We don't know if it's going to be coming out 2025 entirely, but we'll see. Release dates have yet to
Bethesda
be listed on Steam. And I'm not going to go by
deciding when
release
they make
dates
new
on
games.
these announcements because, well, to be brutally honest, they change a lot. So it's in the works is what we'll go with. Then we also
Okay.
have Project Halo. I don't care about that. Let's go back to Fallout 3. So
Let's go about Halo. Let's
We
see
will-
what the Halo
we'll talk
do.
about-
Fall-
I know
let's
a
go
lot
back
more
to
about the
Fallout
Fall-
3 goes to New Vegas.
Yes,
Yeah, let's do Vegas.
I know it's just random images from this thing. You sent me this.
You?
You sent-
What do
you
you
could have
mean,
sent me an
people?
article or something useful. All right, so let's see.
As I was asking you earlier.
So, what we know is the Oblivion remaster did really good, despite the fact that it had some flaws and it had some filters and some annoying
Optimization
shit
issues.
and optimization issues. Odds are the Fallout 3 remaster is probably going to do very good. Now, do we know any news? More importantly, is if they intend to remaster New Vegas?
No.
I think they're basically going to be
I
just
don't think
going
they
through
will.
their back catalog of specifically Bethesda stuff. I don't think they're going to touch anything that's not Bethesda.
I think they hate New Vegas, is what I actually think.
Yes, I actually. Here's the thing: based on what Todd approved,
They're trying to bury it, yes.
Yes, what Todd approved because of the Fallout TV show, I don't think he likes New Vegas at all.
Yeah, because the Fallout TV show goes out of its way to spit on anyone who likes Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 1
And
or
Fallout
2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything that's not Bethesda Fallout.
So
they
Black
don't care
Isles / Obsidian's interpretation of the Fallout universe is basically spit upon, shat upon, vomited upon, pretty much raped universally, and then spat out. And that's what's left of the West Coast lore. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure I particularly care about the Fallout 3 remaster. I mean, it'll be neat, I guess, but like I don't really give a shit because Fallout 3 was okay. It was all right. But it wasn't New Vegas. And New Vegas was a man's game. Let's be real, chat. Don't fight me on it. It's true. I will not hear any revisionist history about New Vegas. That New Vegas wasn't good. That's true.
It was alright.
Had some
I think
crust
it
on
was-
but
it was kind of bad.
decent.
It was
I
the
could-
game of all time.
It was not. It was a very
I'm gonna
flawed
say
RPG.
it was
but
kind
very
of bad because they cut a lot of content Like Caesar's Legion, pretty much.
But I
for the
think it's
most
still
part.
fun.
All of Arizona.
Oh my god. What is this? Hello, Bethesda. You've replaced my guess, I see. Look at all the
I
content.
can
It's
bitch
not
about
going-
Fallout 3 instead if you want. I can talk
Okay,
about
go
how
ahead.
Writing's fucking awful, and that Emil Pagliarella can't fucking write a story without plagiarizing himself every goddamn moment.
I do like how in Fallout 3, like, you can side with the Enclave, and then you do the
No, you
Enclave
can't.
ending. No, you do the Enclave ending, and the game's like,
You die.
you're bad. You're dead, and you're bad. Fuck you. You're bad.
And
That's the
And then you
ending.
do Broken Steel, and then in Broken Steel, all you get to do is kill the Enclave, and then also kill the Brotherhood.
Pretty much.
Because you're retarded and decide to throw a nuke at the Brotherhood's main base.
Good.
So stupid.
This writing's fucking awful, and the karma system's stupid.
It's like,
Oh yeah, no, it's
you're
really
bad.
funny.
You're bad.
It's really funny when you sit down and actually think about what the karma system's doing.
You got good karma. You got bad karma.
I think it's funny when you kill powder gangers and the game tells you, "Good job, you're a good person."
Kill them all.
Like, you know the guy you just fucking butchered. Good job.
His head's in the toilet.
Not only did you do a good
That's
thing,
all I-
the universe acknowledges it's a good thing you did it.
Exactly.
The
It also- it
world
also
feels
means
better.
that-
We're
It
healing,
also
Chad.
means
We're
that
healing.
Caesar is neutral. He's not evil.
Yeah. So people saying Caesar's Legion is evil, objectively wrong.
They're wrong. Yeah, they are karmic neutral. Get fucked.
Yeah.
The laws of the universe says you're wrong. Stupid.
Emil's Bethesda's spirit animal. Oh my god. Emil needs to be fucking fired. Holy shit. He can't write.
Here's the thing.
I don't
He's-
actually hate Emil. I think
He's
she's
fine at lower levels, but the issue is because he's a lead designer and notoriously hates war
Planning.
bibles or anything like that. Everything ends up being so scattered
He
because
hates
there's no
consistency.
centralized
Well, yeah.
there's no centralized document to basically say this is what we're trying to shoot for this game. This is the theme or the message we're trying. He doesn't want to write any of that down.
Yep. Because the big thing is, as a writer, when you write lore, you need to adhere to it, meaning that you're making rules for the world, the sandbox you're building. And the rules you need to follow, because if you break those rules, people that play your game or pay attention or even give a shit about your story are going to notice that, and they're going to be like, you didn't listen to your own rules. You broke the lore. Your characters broke character. The world broke itself. And that becomes jarring and disjointed, and nobody likes that. That's just not very fun. That's not very interesting. It's just dumb. Dumb! But yeah, the big thing there is that I think Fallout 3 getting remaster it's probably gonna do very, very well. People are probably gonna ask for a New Vegas one, but I think they're not gonna do a New Vegas one, at least yet. And if they do, it might be
I
because
think they might
reluctance.
change things.
They might
Oh,
try
yeah.
to revise things. I mean, that's what happened with Stalker. Stalker got its remasters and they revised things. Now, I don't know if the studio walked that back decision-wise, but they removed stuff too. So we'll have to see. Because games doing remasters and then cutting out content is nothing new.
The one thing I would like is that they would follow the concept art more when they do the remasters.
Yeah, the concept art of
I-
Fallout 3 and New Vegas is
I don't
really
think
good.
they will.
It's
They never
wonderful,
did
the
it.
concept art. Have you seen the centaurs? They look fucking great.
But in the
Oh,
game, they look
not
fucking
great.
derpy as
They
hell.
look generic as fuck.
If they were to do a remaster, I think it's basically just gonna be texture updates and shit like that.
Yeah, that's all they're gonna do. Maybe some voice actor overhauls.
You know, the art team that worked on it was very good. I know. My family that worked on it one. All right. Let's see. Now we get to talk about Halo. Wow. Okay, so Halo Industries, which is just 343, they rebranded because 343 is hated so much, they just changed their name. They didn't replace any of the leadership, by the way. It's just 343. And make sure whenever anyone says Halo Industries, it just say 343. Because you know what? It's not Halo Industries. Or Halo Studios,
Well,
sorry.
that said, though, it is more in line with how they basically view their studio.
Yep. So the big problem with Halo Studios is that it is basically, they're going to make another Halo game. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows. They're just fucking around. Microsoft has such bad turnover that they can't maintain their own engines. And so they're trying to spin the idea of using Unreal as an upgrade and a good thing for all of you. What that means is instead of fixing the fucking problem of high turnover and skilled people, that means that they've accepted the fact that they're not going to actually commit to keeping any of their people around or sticking with them.
Can you lower the background music a little bit?
Yeah, this track's always loud. So magical.
Yeah, that's
Eat
good.
Robert to make it a little quiet.
That one's always
You were competing with the fucking background music to be heard.
But remember,
Get out of here, Robert.
they switched to Unreal because from their own words, Halo has always been about the graphics. That's the main point of Halo is how it looks.
Yeah, kids. Don't you know?
Yeah, so their entire philosophy is that Halo wasn't great because it was a good game or had a good story or good music. Halo was great because it had good graphics. Let that sink in when Halo
Just
came
forgive
out.
everyone else, like everyone except for the graphic designers that worked on the fucking Halo. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. It's great.
Halo was solely good, not because of its gameplay, its lore, its characters, its music. According to the studio, it was good because it looked good, and that's it.
It was pretty.
That had nothing to do with the fact that Halo 1 was not photorealistic at all. Halo 1 was stylistic, so was Halo 2, so was Halo 3. Neither of those three games were going for photorealism whatsoever.
It wasn't, Sergeant Johnson or anything.
I will remind everyone, in Halo 1 was just one of the two sergeants. He wasn't anyone special. But because people liked the voice so much, because people liked the voice so much, he became Sergeant Johnson, not just random sergeant.
Space Monkey, you know what I'll say? One good thing about Unreal is it's easier to mod. That's not going to save this game.
No, because they're not going to support it.
You think they're going to allow you to mod it?
It's
Thank you
the
for the
big
nation.
implication of what Kib said. They're not really going to try to put that much effort into keeping people on, so they're going to basically try to use the easiest thing that the majority of people can basically use.
Mods
So
didn't need to
people
save
become
Halo 1.
interchangeable.
Mods didn't need to save Halo 2. Mods didn't need to save Halo 3. Those games stand on their own. Mods should add spice. And you do have mods. Because guess what? The MCC has mod making tools. It's not that hard to make mod making tools for a AAA studio. It isn't. And anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar. All they got to do is basically package up the creation toolkit stuff and basically make it a little bit easier to use for users and then give it to you. Bada bing, bada bam, now you can mod the game. Because literally the toolkit they use to build the game, you now have. Now you can literally build in it. You can play with it.
I think the last time they were like Halo 4 was the only of the new games. Halo 4 was the only one that actually like invented something new in the game.
Yeah, I mean Halo 4
It
did
was like
add
the
new-
mantises and like other component stuff, but that's it.
mechanically even Halo 5 did stuff, but Halo 5 is just a disaster.
I don't count the grappling hook
Oh, that's
as a
Halo
thing because that
Remedy.
was because that was added in last minute because it was too boring to move around.
Yep. Because oh my god. Halo Infinite.
you know what-
Halo Infinite was like, let's go with the sandbox. Should we make any mechanics for the sandbox? No. No.
I want you to imagine, by the way, Master Chief, this 2-ton motherfucker, is slingshotting himself like fucking Spider-Man across the tree line.
Yeah.
He's got,
That's
like,
how unrealistic the fucking grappling hook is because that was added in at the end of the game development because they realized how tedious it was to move around.
Yes, if you tried to walk around in that game, Jesus Christ.
You know what's even worse? They took it away from you in multiplayer.
But yes, the fact that they're abandoning an in-house engine is signs of bad. That's bad. AAA's, double A's or like single, like A or like indies or whatever using like pre-made engines, that's a crutch because they don't have the budget to. A AAA like the power of Microsoft should be building a custom engine, and here's why. Custom engines are built specifically to do all the things and features that the game's supposed to do. Hence why Frostbite was used by DICE and had in-house engineers to build the damn thing, so that they could make the best Battlefields they could. That's what gave us Bad Company. That's what gave us Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
That engine specifically was designed for making Battlefield games. It's meant for it. It's built for it. Its beating heart is to make a Battlefield game. And so Halo had its own in-house engines, and only one time was a Halo engine ever licensed by another studio. That was, I believe, Stubbs the Zombie, which is a little less known game.
Yep.
But it actually uses the Halo CE engine, which when you play it, you can feel it. It's like I'm playing a Halo game where I'm a zombie. It's actually quite interesting. But yeah, the big thing is they got to produce their own engine. They can't rely on the crutches Unreal. Unreal's got its own faults and strengths, right? But the fact that Microsoft and the Halo company that used to use their own in-house engine is now downgrading to using basically their own engines. They're gone. But they're basically like they're using fucking pre-made engines. Like our games are getting worse, not better. Or Halos are getting worse, not better.
So here's what I can see. It's the same issue that Mass Effect Andromeda had.
Oh god.
Where they switched over to Frostbite.
And when it was not made for Frostbite. That's so many the development history of Mass Effect Andromeda is rather interesting. If they weren't trying to fuck around with the Frostbite engine, that game could have been better. But they tried to fuck around with the Frostbite engine because they tried to make space combat, they tried to make procedural worlds, and the Frostbite engine kicked and screamed. It didn't want to make any of those things because guess what? The Frostbite engine wasn't really made to have a procedural map generator. They had to make one. It wasn't made to have space combat. They tried to force it in. It didn't work. The only game that ever succeeded in quote-unquote space combat is Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA, and that's questionable because that mode's not fully developed. They made another game called Squadron, which I believe uses the same architecture, and even then that game didn't do particularly well. Like, it wasn't really designed for space combat.
Nope.
It has air combat, jets and stuff, but like full-blown space simulated combat, that's a very tall fucking order. It's a very tall...
But yeah, no, the studio's not doing this because they're going to make a better game. They're doing this because the Microsoft and Xbox CEO, or sorry, no, the president of Xbox doesn't think they're capable of doing anything else.
That's how low confidence they are. They're trying to pivot it in a way that to us, the public, is like, oh yeah, it's going to be easier. Here's some random stills we had 3D modeled in Unreal. Look at the textures. Yeah, but this isn't gameplay. This isn't the story. You just took a bunch of scenes from previous Halo games, like Halo 1 in this case, and you just
threw a fucking shader pack on them.
Halo 3 with the snowy area with the little buildings. Like,
yeah,
all you did was just slap some imagery together. This doesn't mean anything to us, chat. This is just a model. Models don't make good games. Models are part of a good game. But
also, the writing was fucking ass in the Infinite.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad.
Not only that, the dungeon setup was ass.
The boss battles, the first boss battle tricks you into be like, oh, this might actually be good.
Yeah, no,
and then everything after is awful.
You know, unironically, the first boss fight with the stealth elite was the best boss fight in the entire game.
Yep,
I agree.
And he's not dead, by the way. He's coming in the second game.
He just didn't die? Okay, so Master Chief's literally a loser and can't kill anybody. Okay.
No, so his stealth suit, when you defeat him, it turns him invisible as he falls to the ground. He's in the second game.
You didn't see a corpse, so that's
correct.
The reason. Yeah.
God damn, Master Chief, you're getting really bad with your Alzheimer's.
Yeah, Master Chief would have kept firing and break the fucking stealth.
This is now, remember, clearly this is Master Cheeks, not Master Chief.
Yeah, Pablo Schreiber
or John Halo.
I could see the nose poking through the fucking mask.
the visor.
He's clipping through the model. Just a big old schnauzer. Some sniffs.
Pablo Schnauzer.
He's got the biggest nose. It's a big nose.
It knows.
He knows.
The nose knows.
We're mean.
Master knows.
But that's what he gets for treating Master Chief's character so poorly. So you know what? Fuck him.
That's why they couldn't do an in helmet camera.
Yeah, because it hurts his nose.
Yeah,
His nose would just
fit.
fucking go up against the visor.
It's like pushing
Yeah,
and
it
pops
all
it
makes
out. I
sense.
can't get the helmet on. My nose is too big. This is the bullying you deserve for all the mean things you did. Who was that poor character showing off his cheeks like that?
Yeah, but
Every
yeah,
chance you could get.
I do
Nothing-
want to point out what Notfish has said. A good game using Unreal won't be dragged down by the engine. A bad game using Unreal is made worse by its quirks.
Yes, that's fair.
That
That's
is
fair.
something fair to point out because there are games that are good that are made in Unreal. It's just that
It's just the reason we're
Fuck.
pointing it out is Unreal is kind of, again, the lazy man's solution.
Unreal has become, yes, it's become the lazy man's engine. And that's one of the big problems with it.
Yeah, because it's the only one taught in schools. The big thing I have an issue with is that one, Halo is backed by Microsoft. Microsoft has fuck you money.
And they have decent incentives to make Halo to
Make
want
their own
to-
engine. So
Yeah,
they
I'm
could
not-
have just improved the engine to whatever the studio wanted it to be.
Although from what I've heard, isn't Microsoft in general moving away from gaming?
Yes.
Which is probably the reason they just don't want to allocate that money.
Well, they bought like several $1 billion worth of studios And-
I understand that. I
and
understand.
publishers.
My God. I'm sad. I'm sad.
Why are you sad, Kibbs?
'Cause I'm thinking
You
about it,
lived
I'm like-
long enough to see your favorite franchise fall to the ground and burn.
Like Halo 3, I can remember as clear as day. As clear as day. Drinking my Halo 3
still
Gamer
around,
fuel
kids.
that was orange. It was orange colored. And I was drinking
Yes.
it, and I remember
Off in
playing
the
Halo
red,
3 and be
yeah.
like, man, I can't wait to see where Halo goes after this. Like, it's gonna be huge. I remember hearing rumors about the Halo Wars announcement stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I had that as my wallpaper on my dashboard for my Xbox 360. The future was looking bright, chat bros. Halo Reach was flawed, yes. But you know what? Despite its flaws and despite Halo 3 ODST's flaws, I still like those games. They are flawed. But
Not only that, at least Halo Reach
at least
is
they have the Halo spirit.
insulting to the Halo universe for the most part.
No, sorta. It sorta is because Bungie was throwing a tantrum.
I said sort of for the most part.
Bungie was
No,
throwing a
wait,
tantrum because
it
we
doesn't
don't want to
outright-
follow the lore. We.
But it doesn't
don't wanna
outright
follow
hate,
the
it doesn't outright hate the Halo setting.
Well, kind of.
I
Bungie
said
threw,
outright. I
Bungie
said
threw a
outright.
bit of a tantrum when they made Halo Reach.
They did. I still think it's the best of the fucking original games, just specifically because I played Halo 2. I know how bad Halo 2 can be.
Halo 2 is
I know
really
Halo
fun,
3?
except for the brutes.
You play Halo 3 yet?
When you get to the
I
brute
have-
levels, I just want to commit Kib aside.
We've done Halo 3 like multiple times, and Halo 3 is exceptionally fucking short.
You have no excuse if you don't think Halo 3
I
is
li-
better
I like
than
Halo 3.
Reach.
And I like Halo Reach, but Halo Reach has a much better forge.
Man, I wish Halo Wars was made for PC. It was held back. They killed Ensemble Studios, and people try to apologize and be like, no, it didn't. Okay, well, what did Ensemble Studios make after that? Nothing. They're dead.
killed!
Because they were dead.
Stupid fishy.
The studio that brought us Age of Empires went to go make a console RTS. They died.
Yep. But Age of Empires is back, kids.
Not under Ensemble. Ensemble's dead.
No, Ensemble didn't die. They just retired.
Yeah.
They're taken out back.
Just like the fucking Halo studio, Bungie should have.
God damn.
Now look at them.
And the thing is, Ensemble, to give Ensemble credit, like the music for Halo Wars, the cutscenes and the cinematics and the story, it was very Halo, and I will not hear any argument otherwise. It was very Halo. Sad.
Halo
See,
Wars 1 is a great game. Except for all the game parts.
the gameplay's a little goofy, but it has charm. It has charm. It's a little goofy though. It's a little. Ripford gives a membership. Thank you for the gifted membership. Very generous. Age of Empires is a skinwalker at this point. To be fair to Age of Empires 2 Definitive and Age of Mythology have actually done rather well, all things considered. So long as they don't really... Age of Empires 4 is okay. I have a friend, our art director, loves Age of Empires 4. He's addicted to it. I don't know if he still is. Mostly because he just likes playing the Mongols. He's a little scoundrel like that. He's a little scoundrel. But they managed to hold it together, I think. The Orange Man's been a member for 13 months. Fuck, marry, kill, Yoruichi Shioin from Bleach, Felicia from Darkstalkers, and Yashola from FF14.
Oh, that's actually tough.
Also, when will you? I don't even know who that other person is. Can't even talk about that one. So let's see. Gonna marry Yashola because I know she's a good woman. It's really a dice on which one to fucking kill of those two. Yashola is definitely wife material. She'd make an excellent wife. Intelligent,
Who will you
smart.
Kill the Dark Circles one, because I don't even know who that is.
Felicia is the
Cunning.
big titty, blue haired 90s cat girl.
What's the Felicia one?
That's it.
Let me go get her then. She's also a nun, by the way.
Allegedly.
Could put a bun in that oven.
Allegedly.
Just, what the fuck? You can't do that. You can't do that.
However, she does have giant fucking cat claws, so that's probably incentive for you to kill her. Actually,
Dead.
fuck you,
That's
piece
a
of
big ass.
shit. Discord.
Oh, wow, that was a massive link, Reggie. What's going
Yeah,
on?
what the fuck?
Look at all
are you
those
doing?
tracking cookies tied to it.
Yeah, why didn't the
I don't
picture
know.
pop up, Reggie?
Because the internet is annoying.
Also, update. If you sent a membership gift yesterday, make sure to DM me. I tagged everyone that did in the discussion.
There you go. There's a PNG in the VC chat.
I'm gonna say when you see it, you probably will. Like,
I think we
oh,
kill that one. I think we too furry.
Yeah.
Too furry.
I can put it with that much furry.
Well, I
What?
figured. Furry.
Yeah.
It means it's scaly. Come on.
Okay, so Yorichi's a Bleach character, so killing them I don't really care too much. But she's chocolate, so damn, fuck. But kill her, Felicia, fuck, and then marry Yashol as well, because
Yashola's the best wife. The brown
she has
woman
most
will
character.
be a
Anyway.
good fuck. Yep. And the furry cat thing,
Felicia-
death.
Yodorichi is a fucking like noble who could whoop everybody's fucking ass. And it's chocolate. I don't know why you wouldn't marry.
Also, if I remember it, it's actually
Yashola's.
canon
It's hard to
because
compete with
it's character
Yashola.
wearing clothes.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you know who Yashola is. Yashola's good. She's good. She knows her stuff.
It doesn't matter. She's not gonna beat fucking Yodorichi.
I don't know.
No, literally won't be able to beat Yodorichi. There's no comparison. here.
He's doing a fucking death battle argument.
Death
She's
battle.
beat her in a fight, therefore she's better.
Can they scissor them? Big questions.
So
Yes, I've
Yes,
seen
nice.
that from Yano.
What the
I posted Yorichi's pick in the
Alright,
VC. as
Now
well.
let's turn off the faucet. We're getting Chatfish a bit too thirsty here. Like, oh, thirsty.
we get so horny.
Gibbs gets jealous when Chatfish are interested in other women.
No.
damn.
Kill
That's
the
true.
PNG is what I'm hearing. Dead.
Whatever. Now, you are Legay. Let's talk about Perfect Dark. You actually had a big section for that.
What is Perfect Dark, Kibbs?
It's a game about sexy girl going around killing people.
It's about corporate espionage.
Oh, okay. That's what it's about.
If I remember right,
original
I thought it was
if
sexy girl go around and kill
if I
people.
remember right, that's an
Say.
old Xbox franchise.
It is.
This gameplay
So this
footage
is
looks
just,
old.
from what I've seen of this game, it is a skin suit. It is just using the name.
Are you sure? I mean, it kind of looks like Perfect Dark a little bit.
It's getting
No,
dark and
Skin suit.
perfect.
no, it's not.
It's not.
I remember playing Perfect Dark. This is not.
I
Perfect
have
Dark
fond
was like
memories of
GoldenEye.
Perfect Dark. This is not Perfect Dark. Nothing that I saw for the trailers for this game screamed Perfect Dark at all. Not the way they were doing the setting, the way the combat was,
I played the Xbox
the way the
360
little
Perfect
story
Dark,
elements was.
It wasn't
nothing.
good.
None of it seemed like Perfect Dark.
but it was fun. The skeleton mode where you like turn people into skeletons and then they killed each other was fun.
So that was that was Perfect Dark 0 or something,
It was not very
and
good.
the multiplayer UI was atrocious.
It was not very good. It was very.
I played
special.
that 4-player split screen, and you couldn't even see what you were aiming at.
Yeah. That game was
Yeah,
special.
Chet, if you want an idea of how Perfect Dark basically played back in the day, if you ever played the what was it?
GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
It was more advanced
basically
GoldenEye
basically that, but yeah, a bit more advanced. That's how it controlled.
with not just movie story. It actually had like its own little story and world building, and actually was kind of interesting.
Perfect Dark is an N64 game. Yes.
Is it that far ago? That long ago? Is there anything newer than that?
The
There's
360
Perfect
game.
Dark and Perfect Dark
There
Zero.
was. It's just the N64 one is the one I definitely
Shut
know.
up.
The
Hands.
360 one kind of took it in a bit different direction, where it hyper focused on what was her name, Joanna Dark or something? Your character.
The main character.
It hyper focused on her and like went for more like super spy thing, which was
Okay.
weird.
So
Also
did it-
aliens.
so it's just a continuation of that variant.
Not quite, because this also looks drastically different in tone.
Okay. Well, I guess we just have to wait and see then. Kibbs is
Like I
going to be
said,
forced
my
to play it.
initial impression is it's
I
just
don't know
they
if it'll
took
be
the
forced to
name
play
for
it.
brand
We'll
recognition.
find out. Now, new Ninja
Kind
Gaiden
of
game.
weird.
Pray.
Ninja
Now-
Gaiden 4, Kibbs.
What do you think of Ninja Gaiden, Bucky?
Ninja Gaiden has one of the most over fucking powered characters I've ever seen.
Why? Explain. Why is he overpowered?
Because that man can do multiple different flips in the air, changing his direction while cutting you up into fucking paste.
What's gonna mean?
Like, I like if there was an ability to do like just disrespectful moves and like in DMC or Devil May Cry, whatever you want to call it, he would get style points alone just from the attacks he does.
So he's a bit brutal. What are you saying? Bit
He's
brutal.
very fucking brutal. Damn it! Somebody saw it, Kibbs. Somebody saw the next one, the more important one.
Are they screaming it right now?
Yeah, they're saying StarCraft World,
But that's not even the next thing.
but they saw it though. That's the problem.
I don't know what StarCraft World is. I don't know why that's there. Listen, we're only here to talk about Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
I'm working with
it's
what
a
I got.
Ninja Gaiden stream.
I'll stream Jermaine. But yeah, this is a game I have absolutely no experience with. So if you guys have commentation on it, feel free. I know it's about chopping people up. I heard it's hard. That's about it. No?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's
Silence.
basically it.
Yep,
That's it. That's all Ninja Gaiden is about. Is a lot of blood and a lot of cutting people up.
Here's where we're loaded. We know about this one. I'm a little bit disappointed with this, mostly due to the fact that we already have Gears on PC, but they're actually just putting, well, they're remastering it on PC. Again, there's already a remastered version, but they're making another remastered version.
They're basically upgrading the old version to this one.
Yep, which is, don't really
So if
care.
you have it on console, you're getting an upgrade, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay. But hopefully this means Gears 2 and 3 is around the corner. I'm not particularly excited for this, mostly the fact that it should have been a collection. Like, they dropped the ball. And I think that's all I have to say on that. They dropped
Thank
the
you,
ball.
Arm Brute, for showing up.
Yep, welcome, little British fish. But
Yeah, they did drop the ball. I don't really
You know, we're not like ecstatic.
no. Like if I had an entire like remastered version of the Gears franchise from what the fuck's the prequel Gears game?
Judgment.
Yeah, Judgment. From Judgment all the way through to Gears 4, 3, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
In one
We're never-
game.
Yeah, that would be nice, but we're never getting that.
I'd pay
Yeah.
a lot of money for that.
I don't understand why they didn't. Honestly, I don't. Chat, this has got to be a poll. Okay.
Well, there is
I gotta
the
ask Chat.
speculation that we will see the other ones come out as remasters later or a collection, and this is just being used to test the waters on the PC market.
Yeah, the issue being is that if they sell this as a full price game, I'm not buying it.
They're gonna sell.
But they
it.
will.
I would expect the lowest would be 50.
That's the issue I have. Is that they're not spending money redoing the engine. Like a lot of the legwork has already been done for the game. They're just retexturing it.
And
the
porting
most
it
part.
to PC. Yeah.
The worst
And
part
then
is you can
basically-
already play it on
yeah.
PC if you have it on Microsoft Store or whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
So it's like it's nice that it's on Steam, but like I want Gears 2, 3, and Judgment. That's it. And I want all the respective expansions, all their multiplayer maps, and like additive content. I want all that stuff. And that's it. That's all I want from the Gears setting. I want the 1 through 3 and Judgment bundle all together with their respective map packs, expansions, and DLC, all bundled into one nice little package with Steam Workshop support. So that there can be like mods and custom maps and stuff. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Good luck lurking, Morty Fish.
Little Morty guy.
Well, listen, Spunky Monkey. If we had more experience with one of the games, we would talk about it more. But the issue is we don't. I think Bucky's the one who knew the most about Ninja Gaiden 4, but that's it. So we'll only commentate on what we know about.
I think Plague's the most knowledgeable on Ninja Gaiden, that person I know.
Plock would probably know.
But he's not. He doesn't use a mic, and he's not here, so you know.
But we did mention it, so now you know about it.
I only know about how the game plays, not about much of any of the storyline other than he's being hunted down as a traitor for like one of the games, and you're just killing literally everybody that comes at you. And that's all the game's about, is killing everybody that comes at you.
See, all I know is the Angry Video Game Nerd review of the Super Nintendo version or the NES version.
For Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah, I think that was the one, right? It was hard.
Yeah,
It's all-
hard game.
That's all I know.
It was the before times Dark Souls. Games. That's what
It was
people
the before
compare difficulty to.
That was all I knew. It was balls hard, and that's basically my understanding of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. But Night Motorcyclist is correct. This is what the industry is doing, is that they cannot expect these fucking studios to actually make a new game correctly. So they're making them remaster old games. That is all this is. They're going for the safe bet.
Yep, it's a safe and conservative option because they know that the classics are beloved, and so it's an easy win for sales. However, that's only going to work for so long. There are some games where I'm like, yeah, remaster would be nice for Fallout 3, and it would be, assuming it improves its stability and improves its moddability and improves like certain aspects of it because it's a bit clunky. Yes, that could be nice. However, the next game would be New Vegas, but if it might be up in the air whether they do that, and then it's like, okay, after that, then what? Well, now I guess you could remaster/remake Morrowind, but you're too scared to do that and too incompetent to pull that off, you know? Or Gears, like, now your next thing is, like, you're working on Gears 6, and you're committed to this Gears 4 and 5 and 6 storyline that nobody cares about. Like, I don't care about it. I played 4, I barely beat it, and I was kind of disappointed with it. I tried 5 for a little bit, and then I put it down and never touched it again. I just don't care. It doesn't feel like Gears. The characters aren't interesting. The world's not interesting. Like it's like it's a facsimile of, I don't even know what to call it. Actually, it's like not. It's not at all the Gears setting I know. Nor does it feel like it. The world feels wrong. I don't know. This is how I feel about it. Oh, that's okay, Jermaine. PC gaming is one of those things, once you get into it, you will really enjoy it. However, it's okay to be a little bit intimidated by getting into PC gaming, because yes, you're getting a PC, for gaming is expensive, but once you get into it, you get access to modability. You also get access to lots of games from pretty much the beginning of video gaming time all the way to modern time. Some things you'll need to mod and fix or do patchwork to get to run, like old games, but you'll be able to pretty much emulate any game from DOS to the modern era. The library you have available as a PC gamer adverse to a console gamer is tremendously greater. You have a lot more games and a lot more variety and a lot more choice.
And with
Especially considering
emulation,
that,
you actually have access to the majority of the console library as well.
Yep.
especially considering that modern consoles are now no longer being backwards compatible with older generations of video games.
Because they want you to buy the new stuff or buy the Game Pass.
Technically speaking, due to emulation, you can pretty much play PlayStation. Like, emulation of 6th gen, 7th gen tech is pretty much almost flawless now. All you gotta do is just follow the guides and tweaks, and then just tweak it so it runs right. And you can emulate pretty much anything from 6th and 7th gen flawlessly. I know, 6th gen and 5th gen flawlessly. 7th gen is on its way. It's catching up. It's a little bit unstable in some regards, but it is emulatable. They're working on it.
Now, I do have a question for Bucky. What
Okay.
price for the Gears Reloaded do you think would be reasonable?
$30.
Yeah, it's fair. I like that. It's an old ass game. What did they really do?
They
What?
gave you 4K textures. That's what they've done.
I don't want to pay like $50 for 4K textures. Honestly,
yeah, but
to be
they want
brutally
you
honest,
to pay that.
I don't even like that they ported it to the new Unreal Engine.
Correct.
I would rather it have been just an upscaled version, or not upscaled, but just a port of the original version with the OG graphics. I think the original graphics for Gears of War 1 look good. I like it. I like that look of the Unreal Engine. Which version is that? Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3 look great in that engine. I forget, it's an old Unreal Engine. Hell, the Transformers games, the War for Cybertron duology, also look great. Any game that's made in that version of Unreal looks nice. It just looks nice. It's back when Unreal kind of looked like it had a visual identity. It was more than just trying to go for photorealism. It had a style, a flair to it. And then that flair and that style, that sheeniness, that aesthetic was completely lost when they went for like hyper-realism. It almost feels dry and stale now. UE3? I think so. Yeah. I think it's Unreal Engine 3.
Gibbs, what is Heck Is Us?
Heck Is Us? Is it a game?
Pastor Huntsman is talking about the system requirements.
Have you seen the system requirements for Heck Is Us? It's insane. No, I never heard about it. That name also
I'll look
sounds
it up quick.
abysmal in terms of choice.
Yeah.
Just a
I'll
good
see if I
question
can
for
find
you
it quick.
fellas. I was originally an Astaroth main on Action to main. I have no idea what that is.
Action
actually.
Time Man, I think it's called. I think it's pronounced anyway.
Okay. From how terrible she was before, she was renewed. She's still not worth it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What was the question?
I'm actually reading.
I have no idea.
He had the question after that. Okay. Should I go back to maining Astaroth? Yes. I have no idea what game it is, but if she's terrible, why would you main her?
If you don't like it, go back
Because
to what
she's
you're having fun
pretty.
with. But that's how I view like RPGs or games I'm playing. If you're making a build and you're like, God, this isn't fun, we'll just go back to the fun build. Like, don't force yourself to endure a build that you're not having fun with, or a character for a game you're
But the
playing. through that you're
character's
not fun.
pretty.
Imperial skin now, says Guegas. It's hell, says Master. Okay, well, that's cute. That's adorable.
That's nice.
I must Unreal Tournament, says Motorcyclist. Oh, well, I think there's a modern one still around. Is it?
Here, I have the system requirements for Hell Is Us.
What
Okay.
does it say?
I'll just post it in the chat.
Let's take a look. See, minimum requirements: a 64-bit processor operating system. It requires an i7.
A fucking 5600 XT. Jesus Christ.
Okay. 30 gigabytes. It's not very big. No, it's beefy. Now,
I think the issue being the 5600 XT is the minimal requirement, Gibbs.
I know.
I like how minimum says it's HDD supported, but then recommended it says SSD required.
To Extreme Element, says Crazy Templar. Crazy Templar does $15. I can't wait to do an AI upscaled remaster of Legends of Terrestria in 40 years. Hashtag Avatar. Oh my god. Okay, in 40
How much is
years,
that?
maybe they'll be able to like upscale. Upscaling our game would be disastrous. It's low res art. It's high. Okay, so how to explain it? Our game is high res, low res art, which is this weird intermediate area of style for low res art in general. That's very difficult to do. Mostly due to the fact that the sprites are highly complicated, which is why modding our game is going to be a bit interesting, because you're going to have to understand how to make high res, low res art. You're going to have to figure that out. And people who don't figure it out, you will tell the difference. Night and day. Book Cubes game on CRT filter. That would probably not look good visually, because our game wasn't designed with that in mind. But who knows? Maybe it
Can
does.
you reiterate
It was
how much
15.
that was?
It was 15.
15.
15. Yep.
And it's going to Avatar.
Hashtag Avatar. Yep.
By the way, Hell Is Us is doing the 3-day early access if you buy the
Oh,
deluxe edition.
streamer. What
for
kind of game is it?
$70. It is. Hell Is Us is a third-person action-adventure game that combines intense melee combat with a thrill of exploration.
You know, that says
That
nothing.
doesn't excite me.
What's the style, though? What's the setting?
Yeah, that makes me want to avoid it. Makes me want to.
So the little description for it: if war is the closest we get to hell on Earth, it's because Earth harbors the worst demons, humankind.
Oh
An
my
isolated
god.
country ravaged by infighting, discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity.
No.
Yeah, is
It's
that
it's a
humans are the
French
bad
game.
guys?
Only audio is English and French.
Hate the French.
I don't know. Post visuals of it. I'll pull it up for Chatfishes.
I'll post a link to the Steam page.
Ever since watching kids play Claire Obscura, I've hated the French.
It was
The
much-
Backpack
That's lying.
game
I've hated the
looks
French before then.
so that character looks like Watch Dogs to me.
Kinda, yeah. Good luck at work, Ghost. Also, Gregors, you need
No.
to DM me what I tagged you in the Bickering Bunch discussions.
It's another
It's down
French
to
game.
you and Boo.
It seems kind of goofy. Who knows? Maybe it's something not to sleep on. I don't know.
People are deep.
French. I mean, it doesn't look like it's got.
Is it worth $70?
70
Usually,
fucking
my
bucks.
experience is that French games can look nice, but don't think about much else.
Yeah, because I've seen French movies and like narratively, I don't know, like they're not particularly captivating. Artistically, it's going for the artistic points, but
French game trying to be artistic? Shocking.
That's it.
who knows?
Maybe
it'll
the
be
melee
good.
combat could be good.
I doubt it's a game for me though.
It does look Souls-like.
Meaning, I don't want to touch it. But
But
if
it's a
you're looking
drone,
for another
so-
Souls-like game, maybe.
Oh.
Let's see. It doesn't have Souls-like as. Nope, it does have it. Does take.
Literally hovered right over it.
Yeah, not in my area of interest. I'm not particularly interested in these games. But Squealy,
hmm
you're interested in this stuff.
I've come to hate Souls. The only ones I like are from software, ironically.
Well, does it look interesting? Give it a fair shake. Like, you're the expert of this stuff. You like this stuff a lot more than we do.
The fact
I actually
that
think
it's
Reguline
it's
hates
going with the
Souls-likes.
humans are the real monsters. Angle
Yep.
is already like an annoyance with me.
Yeah, I don't really care for that.
That honestly, that entire trope, I'm getting kind of tired of.
I watched the trailer. It's yeah, it is definitely humans are the real monsters, and you fight actual monsters, but somehow the humans are the worst ones.
That's goofy.
You get a little backpack, like pet thing.
Just like
Yeah.
Fallen Order.
Basically, that's what the vibes I'm getting. And then it's like a mix of like Forever Winter.
Actually, that character design with like his little poncho thing is reminding me of Star Wars.
Yes.
I will say the one
do
thing I can
appreciate
say
that
nice
the-
about it is I really like the environmental design, but
I'm
that's like,
noticing
I
that
like the world. Artistically looks cool, visually.
Hmm.
The
Like,
set
it is
pieces.
just this is also a trailer, so they're showing the best parts.
Of
We don't really
course,
know.
they're only
see
going to show you
anything
the
else.
best part. I mean, that's what.
If they have a demo, I could play the demo for you. Say my opinion off that.
Okay, well, keep put this on your wish list, Squealy, and if there's a demo, give it a shot. Because you are Souls like, if anybody I know knows their Souls shit, it's Squealabilly.
Yeah, but every Souls game that's not from Soft Reguline's opinion is I hate it.
Well, I
'Cause
played
he hates Lords of the Fallen.
P.
That's actually a really good one.
I played the initial release of her Lords of the Fallen, you little shit.
Mhm.
And that game was bad. And I played Lies of P, and Lies of P is also bad.
But people
Wow.
like the art style.
But yeah,
Dark Side was also awesome. I didn't
this
like the
isn't
art
a
style,
game
but
that appeals to
I did.
me, but it might appeal to you, chat, which is why I'm showing it to you. Because, you know, you guys have different tastes. This might be something you want to give a shot, perhaps, or keep an eye
What's the
on.
actual name called?
It's called
Hell
Hell
Is
Is
Us.
Us. It's developed
Hell Is
by
Us.
Rogue
It's
Factor
very on the
and
nose.
published by
But humans are
Nikon.
the bad people.
Wait. Add to wish list. There you go.
What if the twist is that
There's-
humans aren't the bad people?
But they are. You can tell because there's soldiers carrying guns around,
The guns are.
and there's a lady that's scared underneath a little blanket.
If you one of the trailers, Kibbs, if you scroll to the right, is literally just that one.
Oops, trying to make it big.
So this one over and over again is like beating you over the head that the humans are the bad guys.
So, I'm an evil human. Humans are evil. The real monster is humans. Humans are neat.
He's like, you slaughtered our family in our village. I'm taking my revenge on you, and I'm not scared of you anymore. Blows his fucking brains out.
I think this says more about the French than it does people.
Goddamn
Boom.
Frenchies.
And watch, it's not over. Do it again.
I mean, I don't really care for the message.
Now look at the bodies, Kibbs. The soldiers are still looking human, but the rest of the bodies are not. They're white and hollow.
Cavern
It's symbolism.
and drone.
Oh my god, it is just Fallen Order.
It is.
It's poncho and drone and lightsaber. That's slightly wider. That's slightly...
Oh yeah, speaking of another fucking Souls-like, Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor.
But there you go, Chatfish.
Hold on, we've got a quote from Shakespeare.
Why quote Shakespeare? Why not quote yourself and write something interesting?
Because they're autistic.
Why not? Why does everybody have to quote other? That's always one thing in gaming I always wish people do. Is like, well, write something about
Because
you.
people want to have the gravitas of some important saying.
Like, it feels
They're
like,
not smart enough to
Go
make their own.
gently into that good night.
oh, everybody
Or
steals
better
that
yet,
one. Yes.
Or better yet, a saying that I always find amusing is when people say like, "A bell tolls for thee." It's like, do you even know what that's referring to? Do you even know what that means?
Executed because you're gonna get
Symbolism, chat. They're like, what? And they get like symbols.
For whom the bell tolls. Just listen to the song, goddamn.
I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the poet.
But yeah,
Oh, the
this might
poem?
be a
Okay.
game that appeals to some of you guys, and I wanted to show you so you could see it. Look at that. Just, wow, thank you so much, Gibbon.
Isn't that the story of the man who runs away from death, only to be having the bell tolled for him?
Damn, rip. Now, I will say,
Shouldn't have ran.
Gears of War E-Day, there's either,
It looks cool.
it looks cool. There's two things that are going to happen with this game. Only two things. Either it's going to be the developers pissed off that their new Gears sucks and them assassinating Phoenix and Dom's character and trying to piss all over the setting, which would piss me off. Or
Gonna make the humans the bad guys.
Or it's going to be like, this is super interesting. Oh my god, fucking kill myself. Oh my God, kill.
Didn't they already do that with fucking Gears 4 and 5?
That's what they started doing and nobody cared. Humans are kind of evil, and actually, humans are bad. It's like, oh
You
my
should
god.
side with the ones that are kidnapping and forcibly turning people into monsters. They're the good guys.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They're just killing children. It's like, oh, okay, just killing children.
They're
All
literally
right.
just kidnapping everyone and like converting them into meat shields and slaves for them.
Misunderstood meat shields. But yeah, so the big thing is that's cringe. But I'm mildly interested in Gears of War Emergence Day because it's actually covering a period I care about. It'd be like if Halo understood what the audience wants and stopped writing the lore after the Human Covenant War and go back and write the Human Covenant War from the beginning. Like, give me Harvest Day. Give me Harvest Day. Give me Harvest.
Contact Harvest.
Yeah, give me Contact Harvest. Give me, like, literally anything from that period of time when the Human Covenant War was happening. Quit giving me, like, the Banished were actually the real bad guys, and they're much stronger than the Covenant, and the humans and the elites were weak, and it was actually the Banished that beat the Covenant. But, like, the Banished, when you fight them, they're defeated really easily, and so they're actually not that strong, but they're strong. Say, okay, writer. All right, dude. Also, the Endless. Shut the fuck up.
And
Non-existent.
then there's this guy,
Yeah.
and then there's this guy, and then there's this guy.
The Forerunners were actually afraid of the Endless because the Endless couldn't be affected by the wings, and it's like, oh my fucking god, shut the fuck up. It's like this revisionist shit I hate so much. It's like actually the Endless were scarier, and the Forerunners were afraid of them. They were so afraid of them that they imprisoned them because they could, because they only barely could do that,
They're just killing them.
and they could only barely. Yes, it's not like they've not shown the ability to do that before.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense.
It's stupid. But yeah, this I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, it's just humanity going, what the fuck? Because they don't know what the hell is happening because leadership gets killed off and the locusts
you it's
start
gonna be
ravaging the planet. I'm hoping that we see like lots of like heavy fighting and big battles and urban environments and stuff like that.
I want to see Marcus
Hopefully.
face his dad, the fucking roided out scientist.
You won't.
Yes.
You shouldn't in Emergence Day because he's gone. Like
Oh yeah,
just
he's
dis-
gone at this point. Well, no, he disappears
he's
during
not.
this. Remember? Because
Yes,
they go to
correct.
rescue him during Emergence Day. It's at Emergence Day is when they lose him. If that makes sense, when he disappears.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, because isn't that, if I remember?
That's because the government
my,
takes him to that facility, and he's basically over there.
Yeah.
Because they
'Cause he's
realized that he's been holding back critical information from the government.
Specifically the Locust Queen and all that.
Yeah.
That's because he made a special deal because he thought he had time, but he didn't. But yeah, so we should actually be that battle where they fight at the like mansion or palace or whatever. That should actually be in this game. Should be.
I like the fact that I see an actual city.
Hopefully,
Not-
it is a
not
nice
just
defended
Jacinto.
form and not
Or just ruins. Yeah.
more new gears.
Or how Coltrane actually becomes a fucking Gears cog.
He football tackles the fucking locust. Now they're like, you make a good cog.
But yeah, I'm hoping this is good. This is something I've got more interested. I'm more interested in this than I am in Reloaded. Reloaded is
Yeah.
just kind of disappointing.
Because it's new. It's shiny.
I bet you this is going to be $70.
Yes, they're
Basically.
gonna sabotage it with
base
the
price
Game
that?
Pass. Yeah.
And it's going to have pay like 100 to get a couple day early.
Oh.
Yeah, kid, and you're gonna do
I
it.
almost assure you.
And you're going to do it.
I have to. I'm a streamer. Fucking hate it. I envy not like the one thing.
And
Oh, what
it's
is?
going to have 2-player co-op campaign from the beginning.
They have to buy it twice. Rip.
Yeah.
I kind of hope it has 4 players because that was what would make the other Gears amazing. But I think it's probably 2.
It's going to be co-op. If I had to make a
Dom and
yes,
Dom.
it's going to be co-op Marcus and Dom.
They're calling him Dom instead of
I think
Dom.
they'll probably have
They're
like
dumb.
they'll have like a team that gets wiped out and they'll introduce them in this game. What I'm hoping is that Emergence Day is actually like a trilogy they're setting up or something that leads up to Gears 1. Because then you could have like 6 good games and then like
Well-
the other 3 bad games no one cares about.
Marcus and Dom were together like well before Emergence Day.
Yeah, I know. They served in the Pendulum Wars, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dom was a commando, but like they knew each other since childhood.
I'm
Correct.
hoping that they get some flashbacks of the Pendulum Wars. That'd be cool.
I still remember the fucking Gears book where it's just Marcus Phoenix freezing his ass off guarding a fucking pipeline.
That's with Dom's brother.
Yep. That show's so funny. You see him bitching like an actual soldier would be.
The Gears books are really good, by the way, Chad, if you've never read them. At least the OG Gears book that follow the original trilogy, they're good. Really good.
Honestly, the Astro Field, I think
Get
it was the one I
hardcovers of
read,
those.
it was good. However, the flashbacks to current time, like what basically it was because all the interesting stuff was basically the flashbacks. I didn't care for when they're going on about what's happening current time. I was more interested in what's going on in the past. For my just criticism of that book.
Ass full of you, says D Guardian. He looks at you with his little Johnny Bravo chatfish. Trying to win you over. Yeah, true.
Papa John's.
Damn it.
How long ago did Emergence Day compared to the game
God.
start? Emergence Day was like what, 15 years
Yeah, something like
from
that.
the first games?
That's like
start?
15 or 20, something like that.
Yeah, so that they could easily fit in like a couple games. You know what I mean? I hope that they don't just time skip to Gears 1 and get lazy with it. Like I want them to expand
This is being made by
era.
the Coalition, right?
Yeah.
Because remember, the Coalition is effectively it's 343, but for Gears.
Yes, I know.
It's the same thing.
I know. Who knows? They might hit it right off with this one. Because
Maybe I don't know how their internal structure is like. Because I know a lot more.
All they've got to
about
do
343s.
is like they got books, they've got references. Like their writing for writing new stuff is bad, but maybe they work better with a structured world. Some studios are like that, by the way. I have a modicum level of hope for this because there's a structured setup for this, so they don't have to do any critical thinking.
I'll say
Thank
this
God.
for the Coalition.
Thank God.
They don't. They do pander to the to Mexico a lot in Gears, in the newer Gears, because it's really big in Mexico. That's why you have,
It's
like,
big in
Day of
Latin
the Dead
America
events.
and South America.
Yep.
Here's
I know they
huge.
do that, but they didn't pander as hard to other ideological stuff like Halo was doing. They still did it, but not nearly to the extent.
They can't because the years rooted in Latin America, and Latin America won't fucking accept that. That's one
Yeah.
reason why I'm hopeful for this, because Latin
I have a lot
America
more
is
hope
my
with
shield.
this than anything new Halo.
True.
But also, I don't know how Coalition's internal structure is. If they're operating off the same thing 343 was, with just everyone's except the higher up is contract workers that they rotate out, then it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, they can't. That's these studios are operating like this is some sort of like regular fucking industry. Video games are
No,
not. I know. But what they need to understand is that video games are not just things you can just produce. Like you need to actually have a vision. It's actually a move. It's an art. It's more than just formulaic.
Are
Here
you
is
saying that I
new
can't
thing.
just import in 1,000 H-1B visas, Kibbs, and have them churn out slop?
I mean, you can have them turn
The
out slop,
bathrooms will never
but
be
it
the same.
will be slop.
No, it won't. They won't use the bathrooms.
They'll use Bucky's
I've
chair.
heard many horror stories.
That's fucking narrow. Okay, moving on with our lives. There's some good news. State of Decay 3 got news. Now, Squealy,
I didn't.
check to see if it got a release date. Do we finally have a
Me-
release date?
Shut
Maybe.
up.
I'll
the
check.
state
It's
of-
really slow.
Wow.
What do you mean I'm slow?
So,
He's saying you're mentally
To be
deficient.
announced. On Steam.
fuck, god damn
There
it!
could be an announcement on some news thing, but on Steam it just says to be announced.
State of
Catfish?
Decay says at
Yeah.
2026, I think.
We need to buy me a metal chair that I can kick in my apartment and have it hit something and damage my apartment room, so I can do that
Mhm.
fucking meme from Blade
Why
Runner.
don't you just say you,
Hold on
you
a
wake
sec.
up every day and then punch a wall?
Damn it! God damn it! Just kick the chair.
Oh no! Please tell me that's not true.
Just say it, kids. Every day I wake up, and you punch a wall.
bunch of every day.
So apparently,
Bunch of the holes.
according to this, now this could be old news. State of Decay 3, one of the narrative designers is Zoe Quinn.
This game's
That's
a lost
funny.
cause. This game's a lost cause. This game's a lost cause.
Actually, wait, I remember seeing a trailer for this, and it was just that stuff. Yeah, I remember this trailer. There's literally a pride flag in the memorial stuff.
Why would they hire?
I
Okay,
remember seeing that.
this game's
yeah.
F's
So
in
this
chat.
game's gonna be super, super woke.
F's in chat for State of Decay chat. F's in chat. Can I get some F's, please?
Kids, I think it's actually pretty funny.
Oh my god, that's fucking tragic.
You know
Yes,
how
skip
hard
ahead,
it is being
skip.
trans
All right, hold
in
on.
the
Let
pop-
Bucky.
skip to
Bucky's
the
got a
end of the
joke.
trailer.
I know. Let Bucky get his joke out.
Hold on, kids. I want you to understand here that they, like, in this universe of State of Decay, all of the world is fucking going to shit. But you know what? They really care about that fucking pride flag.
Oh, it's a different trailer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different trailer. So they'll maintain
Yeah,
the
this
pride
is
flag.
this is the new
It's
trailer.
their society.
Remember the
Yeah,
other
I'm just
trailer had,
thinking
like,
of some funny
someone-
post-apocalypse
See,
setting.
this trailer doesn't look terrible. This looks competent.
Look, kids, you can blow.
I mean, this is
people's
scripted.
fucking limbs off.
Because State of Decay is, oh my god, dude. I want State of Decay 3 not to be cringe and great.
No, this is just clips from the old trailer
Oh,
so
okay.
far. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the momentum they put on the memorial. That like as like little thing they grabbed it.
Yep. Okay,
The-
whatever.
Mr.
Yeah, so this is
Personality
just
is
clips.
$5. We should buy Kibb's drywall and monster so he can live up to his name. Kyle.
You know, I miss when Kibbs was doing the conspiracy board.
Oh my god. No, never again. You have to pay for that. The conspiracy stream. I can have to map it out. All right, next up we have Clockwork Revolution. Okay, so really quickly, why State of Decay is interesting is because it's a zombie apocalypse game in which you can actually freely roam the world and scavenge different locations, mark them off your map. You get NPCs, and you can switch between the NPCs that get stats, skills. It's basically what Project Zomboid is going to be, except a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more action-focused. Versus Project Zomboid is more going down the, what we call, like, simulated aspects. Project Zomboid will one day be this game in the future with, like, 10 times the detail.
16 times detail, Gibbs. That's the quote.
Okay. Well, it has a lot more detail. It has muscle atrophy and or fatigue and stuff like that, which is insane. But yeah. Okay, next up, Clockwork Revolution. This looks kind of like Bioshock.
Reminds me of Bioshock Infinite.
Yep, right away.
Yep. That's all I get from the vibes.
Yeah.
A
I can't
dystopian
wait till we get to
society.
the part where the society's segregated by race.
But like, why is he walking on that? Like, okay.
It's funny.
This is dumb. This is dumb.
I'm also getting a bit of Dishonored vibes. But now that we're getting to like guns, yeah,
Bioshock.
It's just steampunk.
yeah.
Steampunk Bioshock.
Tesla coils.
Why can't it be called Clock Shock?
Time magic.
Clock Shock.
Get it? Because clockwork, it rewinds time.
That could be interesting. Let me have another Final Fantasy game.
6.
Mm,
It's just remakes of 6 and 7. No, it's just 7. Sorry, never mind.
Okay, well,
Oh
nobody...
yeah, didn't they break this one up into like 2 or 3 games
Yeah, they did. No one liked
Yeah.
it.
so they can
Because they wanted to
for
make
more money?
they wanted to try to get in on the episodic like craze that was going on. Then people were it's like, no, you changed a lot of shit.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
another
not gonna
Final
buy
Fantasy
it.
remake. Like, you already know what you're in for that. That's already old news. It's gonna be super expensive. Now,
Oh,
we
Fable.
got some
Fire
gameplay
Tactics.
of Fable.
Or Barris.
I remember this. People really hated the main character. Is it still did they change her at all?
It looks.
Yeah, I think it's still her in the back, but I think her face is slightly changed. I can't really see.
I love the meme edits of the character. Like just had her holding a burger and stuff.
I don't like that they went for photorealistic. They should have been stylized.
Kids, look how they don't show her face.
They don't.
They
Because
know.
they know.
They know.
They know.
They tried to do it last time and people were it's like, get that thing off my screen.
They're gonna show the
This
face.
tells me that they probably didn't change the face.
You
See how
can
that
see
was
in
just-
some angles, but the nose is still there. Yeah, it's the same.
The jawline.
Yep,
is
it's
still
the
the
same.
So they like intentionally show the least amount
They're
of the face
hiding
as
it.
possible.
Oh my god, she's hideous!
It's the same face. They didn't change it at all.
I don't want to play
It's
as a
still
girl. Let me be a
Man's
dude.
face.
Well, I think you could change the character.
I'm
The
pretty
man's
sure
face
this
is
is
more
just
feminine.
this is just the default character they have.
Oh, there's the random black dude with glasses. Fucking.
I can't just punch you into the fucking wall.
The Redditor giant. Yeah.
The Redditor giant. Yeah.
The best Redditor character was from that furry game.
Oh, speaking of Reddit,
Line.
Outer Worlds 2. Yeah.
Okay. Another.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I've played Outer Worlds 1. I have nothing but the lowest expectations for this game.
Nobody I've know has said anything nice about this series.
I got
It
convinced.
has
I
one
got
good
tricked
character.
into buying
Therefore,
it.
there you go. That's the one. That's the one nice thing I'm gonna say about the first game.
I
Okay.
got tricked into buying it from a friend who was like, "Oh, it's so great! It's just like New Vegas, but modern and better."
Not at all.
Oh my god. It sounds like a
The,
goddamn
the
dirty
one
lie.
thing I've heard that I've sorry that let me rephrase that I've seen people praise is there was one minor part in the first one where depending on who you had in a conversation, you could potentially or not potentially, but you had like a 3 or 4-way conversation with the character you were talking to and the party members involved. That was the only like thing that I've seen that was like that was actually good in the first game.
Okay,
But
yeah,
because
but I
it was
mean,
so heavily scripted, it's just like, okay, that's not the game. It was
yeah,
one
Mass
note.
Effect does that too, almost.
No, but this was like it was a full-on conversation. It wasn't like just like a little quip.
Mhm.
Sadness. Well, For those Spyro fans still out there, a new Spyro game. Is this new or is this a remaster? I don't know.
4.
What's new?
I think it's a remaster.
They're using remastered footage right now.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's another Spyro game on the make. Yeah, because this is the remaster.
I appreciate that they're
Doesn't
using
say
footage that makes
remaster
them look
on it.
really bad at the game.
This looks like a game journal, honestly. Oh my god.
It doesn't say
Where's-
remaster, kids. It can't be a remaster.
He
This
gave
is
up
4.
on the
Spyro
fucking,
4.
on the
Yeah,
jump.
Look, car game. Just like, woo.
Car game.
Wow.
Like one of my least played games or like game genres.
I want another Burnout game. God damn it! Is it that much to ask?
What
for?
you want, kids, is to play split second.
You want super photorealistic that runs like ass, right?
I want a
But if
Burnout
you slow
game
down, it looks
where it
really bad,
smash
though.
people's cars out of the way and then they die. Like,
Yeah, kids, you want split second. That's what you want to play.
Another generic Forza. Yeah, that's what this
Press
kind of looks
Y
like.
to rewind. So what? You can go back in time and redo the little bumper maneuver you did.
I didn't want to bump him because it got my paint squished up.
Yeah. Yeah. You literally the second you hit an edge, it's press Y to rewind.
Oh, I scratched
Maybe
my car.
looking at this, maybe that's more for like score attacks. Like if people are trying to get like the lowest time
No
for a
hit.
track.
Starfield, kids, look, they're still making
Starborn.
content for.
Oh my
They
goodness,
stole a name from my setting. It's done.
No, no.
Oh hey,
Look, kids, the Luma,
It doesn't
the
look.
Luma.
The
Lumini.
Come here.
The Lumini.
Death the Bucky. Okay, so like
What
they
was
added
DLC
some stuff.
called? I didn't even notice.
Starborn. What's in it?
basically,
Starborn,
basically Skyrim in space. Still, that's probably what it is.
Oh, did you forget?
Yes,
that-
correct.
That the main
Yes,
character is
correct.
actually called the Starborn because they get space magic.
Because Dragonborn.
They are so creatively bankrupt.
You get
but
space
that's-
shouts.
Is
We've already been on how Emil can't write.
Is there any reason to go back to fucking Starfield?
No.
Yes, if I'd make you.
New DLC. You gotta
That's what I
give
fucking
content, kids.
thought. Yeah.
You put a
I-
big
big.
price tag on that, Kips. Don't fucking. Don't,
Yeah, that is a
let him
price tag.
weasel
That
with-
stream is just a fucking
Yeah, don't
L.
be
What?
dumb,
How much
kid.
is that price tag, kids?
$1,000
$50.
for one stream.
Deal.
You wouldn't
for
do it.
one stream.
Yeah, for one stream. Because you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to make a
Mhm.
clickbait title to trick all you chat fuckers to even show up. I'll be like, I'm gonna spoil the title. It's better now? Question mark? Exclamation mark? And then you'll be like, oh, is it? And like, is it better now,
okay,
Kim?
chat,
And I'll be like,
all of you
I
show
don't
up
know.
for that, just
Let's
type
find
no
out.
and then
No. Don't leave.
Chat just
Chat,
shows up.
I
Stay
need you
there
to-
No.
with me.
Chat, I need you to donate a shit ton of money so it's forced to play the second day.
Oh my fucking
Oh,
god.
it'd be amazing, Bucky.
It's not gonna happen.
They
No.
do a pre-order
No.
the DLC to get it early,
No.
to play early.
Bah,
Yeah, that too.
bah, bah. And then,
No,
Ow.
no.
And Kibbs has to have a certain character level to even access it.
Radical Note says he'll watch.
I had to play the game again. The idea of it.
Have to play it off stream to level up a
Says Rust
character.
again. As a title. It's better now? Exclamation mark, question mark. Oh my god, no way. New Elder Scrolls lore? Question mark? Like I just lie in the title. Like I just lie.
Starfield and Elder Scrolls are in the same universe.
Is that Dagothur? Like edited in Photoshop for background.
No,
Yeah,
just
hold
have
on,
the-
hold on.
is it
If
better now
Dagoth- if
with
Dagoth
doing a
or-
frog face?
If Dagoth was in Starfield, would you play it?
Dagothur and Sonic kiss? Question mark?
Imagine the mods just taking the piss out of the game the entire way through.
Actually, Kibbs, can Aerith even do a pog face?
No, I can look shocked. Kinda.
The eyes are tied to the mouth.
Ooh.
You have money.
All right, Steve Invest donates 100 Donkey Kongs. Nice. I don't even know what to do with all these cartridges. He's like, here you go. More Death Stranding then. Motherfucker, you're going to donate a lot more than that for fucking...
Death Stranding or
You can start a
Starborn
Death
DLC?
Stranding 2 fund. I will allow that.
Which would you prefer, Kibbs?
I will allow it.
Starfield or Death Stranding?
Fuck. Like, at least Starfield has gameplay, but at the same time, Death
Is there a
Stranding
Death
2
Stranding 2
might. I
coming
don't
out?
know. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's coming out. You get mechs.
It's even more walking now.
Ooh, walking mech, so I can walk everywhere with my mech.
Yeah.
Actually, if
Go,
Kibbs wants
go,
to walk
go.
everywhere with a mech, you should play Lost Planet 3.
Oh. I don't ever play that, actually.
Emil never could write. I'm not sure where you got the idea that he could write to begin with, Brian. I've done a Dark
Tibbs,
Brotherhood. It's not good.
Next game.
ZeniMax online RPG MMO. Nobody knows what it is.
Star Wars?
Star Wars?
No, it's just a theory thing. You sent me a video of some dude who's like doesn't know anything.
Yeah, but also now you're on Marvel's Blade.
He
Game.
skipped right past it.
Yeah, this isn't a game. This is a mod. That's literally a Imperial fucking walker from
It looks like
Warhammer.
Tatooine kids.
Right there. Like
Look,
the
there's a
person.
fucking Star Destroyer in the background.
There's a Millennium Falcon. This
There
is a
is.
mod. Yes. Fucking squealy. Go give me a real link with like actual information.
Okay, look, Blade.
No, but Bucky was got for you, Caleb.
They're making Marvel's Blade.
Indio says that's Stranding. Fetus fish?
Wait, does Blade have a fucking man bun?
He does
No.
now.
Oh,
Fuck.
That's a fucking
That's
barber.
okay.
That's a barber. It's like, that's not Blade, is it?
That's Blade.
There's the Blade man.
There's 20 buckos.
And it just cuts to.
Okay. So there's a.
After a while.
It's gonna be stylistic, and we know nothing about it.
Sweet.
Squealy, go get a real link. Chop chop.
Let me see Marvel's Blade.
No, to the fucking whole expo thing. You fuck. You fuck.
But you want to go with the thing.
You didn't do the
Okay,
bare
look at him
minimum. This is
sassing
this is
back,
literally what
Jeff.
Squealy brought, by the way.
No.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what
yeah.
Bucky brought you, kid. You lying as shit.
This is what you brought me. You got
I
some.
didn't
yeah.
bring this.
This was the Kibbs told you to get a link. This is the link you brought.
This was posted by Bucky.
This is
Yeah,
super artsy.
well.
Okay, it might be cute. I don't know. Looks a little fruity though. I don't see anybody getting decapitated.
It looks better than South of Midnight.
It does. I'm an angry animal.
Reminds me of Journey.
So you just like walk around like, oh, don't fucking scare
It's a
them.
walking simulator. Yeah.
I'm gonna touch them. Oh yeah.
There it is.
For a second, I thought this was a part of the previous game. It's like, that was a tone shift.
Okay, I'm immediately disliking something I just saw there.
This
Looks like
isn't
a
actually
dingo.
footage of the Quake remake, as far as I know. This is like
Well-
footage of something else.
Two of these characters are literally just the character models from the. I know the characters from Quake, but the model is literally just a slightly more high-res version of the Quake Champions, which was a.
This is
shitty
Quake
game.
Champions footage. I'm pretty sure. Because
Quake
this,
Champions, not good.
yeah, no, this is just Quake Champion footage. But yeah, so the Quake reboot in the make, hopefully it doesn't look like this because it's ass. But this is. It's really just
We're
get
gonna make Quake, but have it be like a hero
Okay,
shooter.
so thing I'm figuring out, by the way, shut the fuck up, kids. So these videos we're looking at right now are going 15 games at a time because they're using the YouTube algorithm to fucking boost their channel.
I hate you.
So none of these fucking videos that I'm seeing right now are actually like the whole showcase.
Ah, where's the showcase at? Where's the?
Fuck if I know.
It's the showcase kids is like hours long.
Yeah, go grab it. We can skim it.
I need to find it. It's getting buried by all the fucking
New Elder
all,
Scrolls.
all the fucking
Recap.
cloud chasers.
All right, we're moving on past this garbage. So,
Yeah.
next up, we have a little thing, a quote from EA that little fucking chumpus got us. Dragon Age Maestro says, Maestro, look at that. Ooh. EA always spoke about a hypothetical nerd cave full of die-hard RPG fans who would always show up, so you didn't have to try and appeal to them. Now, what is this in reference to? Why would they say something so mean about their player base? So disrespectful.
Okay, so basically, apparently, this is from internal meetings with the EA executives to BioWare developers, basically saying that RPG fans are just people that live in a cave and they'll just always buy it if it has RPG
Yep.
slapped on it. And that's why we saw them start moving away because they wanted to get a wider audience, and they figured that they were
The
entitled
RPG
to their,
fans would
their
just
money.
always show up.
Yes, because they're in a cave and they know nothing better. So basically, that's why we started to see the trend of RPGs being more actiony and slick, being the terms apparently were being used,
Like,
and more cinematic, and just kept pushing more and more. It needs to be cinematic, cinematic, cinematic. And that's why we saw that trend over the years of it going that way and that way and that way until eventually we got to Anthem, which was a complete flop.
Anthem wasn't even an RPG.
No, it was supposed to be.
That was a looter shooter.
It's a
But
looter shooter.
the point being,
Andromeda was an RPG. And
this
Mass
is
Effect
why for
3 is an
AAA,
RPG.
like, because this is what EA executives were saying, and we know the AAA industry, they kind of all communicate to some extent.
Yeah, they all talk
I
to
think
each
a
other.
greater example of this is actually Mass Effect 1 through 3. Because
That's what I was getting to.
go ahead, little
Yeah.
Jumpus.
So Mass Effect 1 was more RPG focused, and this top-down decision to basically just slap the word RPG on things and make them more actiony and slick because the execs hated RPG mechanics started with Mass Effect 2. And then 3, and then Andromeda, and then Dragon Age 2. Like, basically, it started around that time, and they just kept pushing it more and more and more to be more cinematic and less focused around actual gameplay mechanics. But that's why we
Kids.
saw a decline in general quality for actual RPGs in the AAA industry for so long. And it's only now with indies rising up we're actually seeing RPGs make a bit of a return.
All right, Kibbs. I got the showcase scheduled for you. The actual full-on showcase. So the ones that were shown in this video are the things coming up that are being showcased in this
Holy
schedule.
shit.
But
So we can actually go watch it next week.
Oh, well.
Oh.
We're going to watch. Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
the point why I wanted to
Except
bring
it-
this up is just to highlight how the executives in these AAA companies are so out of touch. Because, like, yeah, we know they're out of touch with the actual, target of their games. But this is how they literally view people who buy their games is, oh, we're entitled to their money. They're just in a cave. They'll just get it if we slap a
They'll
the tag
buy
on it.
buy no matter what. Yep. So they don't really care
we just-
about making it
we
good
just need to make
or
it broad
improving
audience,
or
broader
building
audience.
upon it. And so, yes, what they're trying to do is they're trying to like, okay, we've got Night Motorcyclist. He'll buy it no matter what, right? So now we need to get Not a Fish, who is a chatfish. He's lying. We need to get his little fish to buy it too.
Mhm.
And how do we do that? Well, we add a little bit more action, a little less RPG. The other guy's gonna buy it anyways.
So to clarify, because I didn't like the article itself because it has lots of pop-ups with, you have to
Yeah,
turn off ad
it's one
block
of
and shit.
It's one of
So
those sites.
basically, obviously it was referred to the RPG mechanics as being appealing to people in the cave, and to elaborate on that, in the cave it's where nerds went. Nerds are in the cave. You make an RPG, and the nerds in the cave would always show up for RPG because it's an RPG.
Yeah, we heard
It doesn't
that.
matter what the actual mechanics
Said that
are.
like 6 times.
I'm reading like the actual quote.
Yeah, I
exactly
know.
what they said.
No matter what, they'll
But
show
yeah.
up anyways. Yeah, we get it. That's just how out of touch they are. That's nothing new.
Mm.
Sadly, it's old news. Old news from an old problem that's still there and not going anywhere anytime soon. Big thank you, Chatfish. All right, moving on. Oh, what is it?
I was going to read what Frederick said. But he just says the cave is nice unlike the rest of the world.
Not entirely true, but not entirely false. So, next thing we need to talk about real quickly is review bombing. And why is review bombing not working? Why is it bad? But why is it also good? And the big thing is review bombing, right? Review bombing exists for a reason. A great example of why review bombing should exist. Get the fuck out of here, Microsoft. A great example should be Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA had so many microtransactions. It was deplorable. It got review bombed to the point where they removed and gutted all the microtransaction systems, and that managed to salvage the game's reputation. However, the damage to PR was already done, and it crippled the game from ever doing any better than it ever could have. And so EA ended up abandoning it, despite the fact that again, it's just still pulled in relatively over 1,000 sales recently. It's still selling today, but it's abandoned because EA couldn't milk the ever-living shit out of you, and that's why they abandoned it. Because that's what Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA was, a good game buried under microtransaction hell. And so that's kind of what that did. But review bombing at the end of the day did manage to salvage what would have been a game that would have been irredeemable into a game that was actually fun and had redeeming qualities, even if the campaign wasn't good. Review bombing managed to save Battlefront 2 EA and gave us a game that actually worked and was playable. Now, it's obviously debatable in its current state, but that's a matter of fact, right? Helldivers 2 is receiving a review bomb as well. Now, its first review bomb was very good. It was against the PSN requirement, and Arrowhead, along with the players, basically pressured PlayStation into revoking the PSN as a requirement feature. Clever little Arrowhead studio, basically riling up people to do that by being deceitful. But the big thing there is that they managed to get that removed. A good thing. Now, there is a new review bomb that is currently happening to Helldivers 2 as we speak. However, this new review bomb, as of May 29th, wasn't a review bomb that actually brought anything to the table. What was this review bomb about? Well, this review bomb was orchestrated by Chinese players who were upset because they couldn't read. The reality is that the game mode that they had basically done, or the event they had done, was the Siege of Super Earth, right? A valiant last stand for humanity against the Illuminate dogs as they pressed down on Super Earth. And what you saw happen was a review bomb build up because the Chinese players, when they reached 99.8 or 6%, whatever, couldn't get the percentage to go any higher. They couldn't reach it to 100% to liberate the Equality on Sea city. The reality is they couldn't free Equality on Sea because according to the game rules, and well, actually in the game rules of the event, the siege of all the cities will not stop until the city, or not the city, but the fleet's health is depleted to 0. Every city that goes under attack will remain under attack until the event ends. And so, because they couldn't fucking read, these chucklefucks decided to abuse review bombs and literally got mad and just like blew it out of proportion because they couldn't liberate a city that wasn't supposed to. So much so did they go to that degree that when the capital came under siege, they explicitly didn't want to go to help the capital city because if they did, the capital city was hopefully going to fall, so they basically harassed bug divers who went to go do the MO in hopes that the capital city would fall, so that if the capital city falls, the capital would have to be moved to China, so that only China could have it. The reviews go as far as being incredibly, unironically racist. Like, to the point where they're like, how can great people be born in such a land as this? But, like, it's the most fucking retarded, asinine shit I've ever seen. To the point where it's like, only great people can be born in China. No great man could ever be born in Scandinavia. You know, no legend.
Yeah.
Which is like, what?
It wasn't just contained to Steam reviews. They were actively trying to, through social media and other places, trying to actively encourage people to not defend Prosperity City, not do the MO, so that only Equality at Sea would stand because China's great. And they were getting really mad and were negative reviewing because it wasn't going to be the only city.
Yep.
So it wasn't just also that they couldn't capture it and end the thing. It was also because other cities existed was a huge problem.
They wanted all
And
the
now
other
they've
cities to be
shifted-
glassed. Yeah.
They've shifted their tactic, basically proclaiming that the devs are liars and that player choice doesn't matter and everything's a scripted event.
Yep.
I think to a certain degree, that's not entirely
That is
wrong.
false. Nope.
Considering
That is
they're-
false. So the end of the war, or the end of each event, has a binary option. Your decision whether you succeed or fail MOs or choose to do things do matter.
Oh, yeah, no, that part is true. What I meant is like Joel, whether it be a single person or a group of people, like they are like, okay, here's how we're going to try to make
Yes,
this
but
go.
according to
That
their
part
point, is
yeah,
not.
yeah, that part is specifically just wrong.
So
They're basically
that's all that
proclaiming
matters.
the only reason China the Equality at Sea held is because of how great they are, and
No.
the developers intended on the only city being Prosperity. So they've basically done a 180 of, oh, we're being cheated to, this only exists because of how great we are.
No,
And
if
the devs lie.
if the Chinese had actually tried to defend York Supreme, it would have held long enough for the fucking MO to
Actually,
complete.
Which
on
is
that note,
funny.
they also apparently were organizing groups of people to
Fail.
go into
missions.
missions in other cities and then purposely fail the missions.
Yep.
Like just go in and just die, kill other people, die.
Yep, there was also alleged people calling for actions to go and join bug diver events where people were going to do the MO and sabotage their games. Basically, go in, kill the bug diver players. There were people even boasting about it on social media, on Twitter, about how they would go into other people's games and basically go around and kill people and try to ruin their fun time and then sabotage their game and then before they leave say, this is what you get for not doing what we want you to. Or doing what we tell you.
And then after all this, when they clearly failed what they wanted to do, then you have people coming on the Twitter going, no, that's just, either lies or you just get, they're trying to gaslight people and thinking, no, it's just that's not happening. But if it is happening, it's just random bad actors, very small minority of people. You're always going to have those crazy people doing it.
Yeah, ignoring the negative views, literally saying because China can't be conquered, we should ruin the other cities.
Yep. And so basically, they tried to sabotage the Super Earth event. They tried to make sure the capital would fall. They tried to make sure the MO failed. And when they didn't get their way, at the same time, they tried to review bomb the game to harass the developers to do what they want. They also went out of their way to basically harass every group of people in every part of the world. Scandinavians were the last group they went after, but they went after Americans. They called you all losers, fat, and racist idiots and ignorant. They went after Europeans. They then went after Scandinavians, saying that no great men could ever be born in Scandinavia. Like, they went after everyone. They went after everyone.
I don't think they quite realize what they've done here, because now I've been seeing a lot of people, like more and more people clamoring for the idea of just to ban the Chinese market from the game and just like that entire area.
What they would probably do instead is just make a separate server for them.
They wouldn't.
Probably.
That's not how Helldivers work. So if they ban China, they would be banned because they only have one central server for one event. They're not going to GM multiple events. They've already said that. They're only going to GM one master server for the one war, because the rewards and the models and the things they make and develop is based on our actions. That would mean they'd have to set up an entire separate development team to develop a separate game, because what we see and what we encounter in our war is unique based on what we do. Whether we win or whether we lose this event, they said that they not only make story events, but they also make models for new enemies and different things based on what we do. We literally are building this game with
it. It's gotten so bad with the harassment of the community, like inside the community, that the developers have been releasing statements. The community managements have been trying to like basically shut down the toxicity coming from that people, and the whole. We're still seeing people pissing and moaning about bug divers, which is so goddamn dumb.
Yes. Also, the Chinese players are using the whole bug diver thing to try to rally people against a group of people.
To divide the community,
Yeah. The goal is to basically put a schism in the community to try to torpedo it so that they can basically mass review bomb it to get it to mostly negative. They're actually upset that there's a counter review going on right now from the rest of the world, where they're actually pushing for it in positive. And it's actually because the negative reviews are losing steam, their whole thing is losing steam, so they're getting upset. So if you want to be a part of that counter push, you can, and you can encourage others to basically just post a positive review and just say Taiwan #1 or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. Something that'll piss them off.
Is wonderful.
Just post
They
the
should do
copy
that,
paste
actually.
of the
Taiwan
Tiananmen Square
#1.
thing.
Honestly, I
Taiwan
think what would be
banned.
amazing if the Arrowhead developers did is that they moved the capital of equality on sea to Taiwan. That would be fucking hilarious.
After all the destruction, equality
That
on
would
the
be
seas and moved to
fucking
Taiwan.
hilarious.
No, they'd also need to rebuild York and make a New York City.
Yes, they will be rebuilding the cities after they got
New
blast,
York
yes.
Supreme.
Yep.
New York Supreme. Oh my fucking
They
god.
need to. They have the opportunity for the funniest thing. Like they need
New York, yeah.
Yes. And the big thing is the developers already came out and said this, by the way. So anyone who tries to go like, the bug divers are sabotaging the game, the developers said that they account for the fact that there are bug, bot, and illuminate squid divers, or whatever we're going to call them, that will always go and dive for that, and they will adjust the
because
balance.
it's like, yeah,
They will adjust the MOs accordingly so that it's always going to be fair and you're always going to have a chance. They're not going to go out of their way to sabotage you. They literally
everyone
threw us
just because they
bones.
are.
Joel has never, okay, like anybody who's a crybaby and a little bitch boy and it's like, it's hard.
Yeah, no, unironically,
it might be close.
the help
Just
that
quit crying about it, because the thing is, Joel throws us a bone all the time. He's a good GM. He gives us plenty of opportunities to
Joel
stop things.
gave us a lot of help because why do you think like one of the major orders to move the battle station was not on Earth? It's so the players for the other factions.
Good play.
It's like, oh, okay, we can actually help.
Yeah, the reason why they tied it so that bug divers and bot divers could participate in the battle for Super Earth is because developers understand that not everybody likes fighting squids, and so they wanted to make sure that everybody could play the game and help support the war effort in their own way by making so, while they may not be helping directly on the battle for Super Earth, but them basically helping scrap the metal, got the scrap metal to repair the DSS. For the bug divers, the battle for Fort Union secured and defended the research facilities that allowed them to finish production of the virus to disable the enemy ships as shields.
Actually, that gave us a nice story element because it's literally that was from the civilian market that the whole virus thing came from.
I really think that was just a response to the amount of shit that bug divers were getting.
Maybe.
I think they always had the bot and bug thing tied in. It was a good move though by Arrowhead, even if it was.
That's why I think it's a more of a good move that if it was a response to the amount of hate,
so that they would be like, yeah, no, they helped. They actually did something. Now they made that event end days early because without that fucking Fort Union virus, that would have lasted a lot longer, and we probably would have lost Prosperity City, and the Chinese review bombers would have gotten the only city to be standing, Equality on Sea.
I think they should have had those two events happen in the middle of, well, at least the bug one happening in the middle of the event, not at the tail end, to be honest.
I think that was sort of thrown in for a clutch moment.
I know.
It was a
thrown in makes it look like it was a response to the bug diver thing.
Could be, but the bot one didn't come only a day before then. They were all both tight.
Yes. Well, they didn't want the DSS coming in because the DSS actually has a full functioning way of fucking up enemies.
Yes, the DSS was a game changer, and then the virus.
Correct. That's why it had to come at the end
too. Yeah, because if the DSS was operational during the entire event, I don't think we would have lost a single city. Or if we did, it would have been a handful, maybe two.
We maybe would have lost one or two super cities, or I forget the exact wordage. But yeah, mega cities. We would not have lost we only had what, 2 at the end that were still standing.
Yes,
percentage change was huge when you look at the app.
But yeah, but on one bright side, I did see some Chinese players literally just annoyed by the fact that every one of their region was being
that other Chinese players were just being
there
dicks.
were some players who were leaving reviews like, oh my god, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have seen some positive reviews basically saying that the other Chinese players are fucking idiots.
They can't read.
Yes. Great.
So it was very clear that some people did know to read. It's just very apparent that literacy rates in certain parts of the world are slightly lower than the rest. Because it literally says in the mode or the event of the rules of how the event works.
So there's something really funny with that. When it was revealed, like with the massive battle, like, yeah, you can't capture this. They pivoted to it was poorly translated, or we were lied to. And
despite the fact that the other players could translate it or read well, yeah.
Yep, they immediately pivoted to we are at fault.
That's because this is a classic. It's never my fault. It's someone else's fault situation, and you see this a lot with Chinese communities and gaming, where instead of taking responsibility for a problem or being like, yeah, we fucked up. No, it has to be someone else's fault. It's those damn dirty Scandinavians,
Yeah, because I don't think this was the first time the specific Chinese player base on Steam review bombed something.
No, they do this a lot, and they do this.
It's very common. Anytime
China is portrayed in a slightly negative way, or it does something to offend them, specifically China. In this particular case, because Equality on Sea is a mega city located in China. They took great offense to the idea that any of the other cities could be standing. that Europe could stand, that America could stand, that South America could stand, that Africa could stand, or Southeast Asia.
Scandinavia.
Or Scandinavia. Yes, they did not like that. The fact that Scandinavia is the capital is actually what they took most issue with, by the way. Like, how can Scandinavia be the capital of Super Earth? No one great or good has ever been born there. Because there were reviews that said that.
Funny.
Which is funny because
It's
it's
really
like...
fucking funny considering in the setting, humanity has spread out beyond Earth. So I wouldn't even view it as, like, so long as the capital is on Earth would be more the
that's all I
bigger
care
issue
about.
for people in the setting.
The big thing for me is it makes total sense why the capital is in fucking Scandinavia. The developers are Swedish.
Super Earth.
They're Swedish.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to put the capital there. It's a Swedish game. I don't
Literally,
care.
the Super Earth emblem of planet Earth is centered
On Sweden.
on Sweden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I want to read what
It's
Django
really
said
funny.
because it amuses me greatly. He says, "Announced Super Earth literacy program for survivors from Equality City."
Quality City.
Now that would be freaking. If they
That'd be
actually had that as an
hilarious.
announcement, that would be hilarious.
There'd
yeah.
be a second review bombing. There'd be a second. But yeah, so that's just the whole event went really well. Everybody had a lot of fun, but it was specifically the Chinese players, and there was also some what I'd call I don't know what to call it, Sino cucks or whatever, where there were people going around going like, yeah, like equality on sea, yeah, fuck the West. And
To
it's
be
like,
fair, a
what
lot
the
of those
fuck?
accounts are just Chinese accounts.
Yeah, they're fake.
Yeah. Or Chinese bots, one of the two.
I saw a lot
Yeah,
of this on
literally just
social
like,
media.
we gotta
during the event.
thank China because of them, because we're holding Super Earth because of them.
On
Like,
social
oh, thanks for the
media.
Chinese
Yeah,
players.
ignoring the fact that we lost multiple cities because of their inaction.
Because they refused to go to cities that needed help when they needed it. York fell.
Or
You know why
actively
York fell?
sabotaged.
York fell because it was actually getting focused on. Equality of sea wasn't. And did Chinese players come to York's aid? No.
No.
Did Chinese players go to Europe's aid? No. Did they go to the Middle East? No. Did they go to the South Americans' aid? No. Did they go to the fucking capital's aid? No. Did they go
We
to
also know
Southeast
that they
Asia?
were actively
No.
sabotaging the other cities.
They actively sabotaged every city. Not only did they actively sabotage every city, but they also actively didn't go to the aid of any cities. Because during the event, for those who didn't play, the Illuminate put pressure on different cities and moved around where they were focusing their attacks. Anytime the attack was focused on either Eaglegrad or one of the other cities like York or the Buenos Aires cities of Remembrance, like, did the other players shift away from Equality on Sea? At no point did they shift. They stood at the same place defending a city that didn't need to be defended, that was holding just fine. Instead, they let every other city fall. What I think is that Arrowhead needs to not factor in the Chinese players into the equation. Because they will, at least for the next Siege of Super Earth, because they will not come to the aid of any city when a city is pressed or attacked. We now know that.
This is unsurprising to me for one reason, and this is of those that have played multiplayer games for a long time.
Oh, it's the Chinese are notorious.
Yeah, any time you let the Chinese players play within any kind of global community and they are not region locked, you get all sorts of horrible things. And I'm not talking just about hacking. Mostly it's hacking and stuff and cheating and stuff like that.
They are,
but it's like they are very toxic player base that ruins the fun of everybody else every time they are not region locked. And Arrowhead, from what it clearly looks like. Now, granted, there are still some criticisms about how the Siege of Super Earth was handled, but I'm pretty sure you covered that already. But talking specifically about the Chinese player base, Arrowhead is learning a valuable lesson of you need to region lock some of these people. I'm trying not to curse here, but you need to region lock these people because they ruin the fun for a lot of people.
They can't region lock it because of how the game works, and they can't separate servers either. Because remember, we talked about this and you missed this, but the development of Helldivers 2 is heavily based on how we play the game. And so what they choose to focus assets on and develop is based on what we play and what we do in each MO. And so they can't afford to set up separate servers because that would they'd have to set up a separate dev team making assets for a completely different story of the war.
The only other part I could think of as a possible solution, and I'm just throwing out ideas, an engineer could probably have to more figure this out, but if they can identify if a Steam user or a user is in the Chinese community and they know they follow certain behavioral patterns, change how you weigh certain certain players impact into the lore if you see stuff like this happen, because that ruins the fun for everybody else, and it's not just to the other communities that are trying to play the game and have fun. When you have this huge community that's just trying to ruin the fun for everybody else because mud China supremacy, quite literally.
Yep. Because they hit their alternate goal is China glorification, not
Super Earth.
not Super Earth.
So one little tidbit, if you notice about the banners, by the way, you can see the Super Earth flag there, like tattered and almost gone completely. But
Yep.
the big thing is the flag was showing not the fall of Super Earth, because a lot of people had speculated that. The flag, what it was representing was the oncoming doom. And what you see in this banner is actually really kind of wholesome, because that little teddy bear that was like there on that scene, the Helldiver here is holding that teddy bear up, raising a fist in defiance. I thought this was a nice touch. Also, the fact that they're standing on the Statue of
This is
Liberty.
also the Statue of Liberty is right there.
Yeah.
too.
This is
Yeah.
this picture here is literally a scene from the Battle of Super York, or basically, we
Which
were
is
there.
Also,
The
should
most
bring up
important
the
thing.
actually, let me find it, because all the art for each of the major events
The art's
is really
great,
good.
He's
spectacular.
got a shovel. That's the fun part.
Yes.
He does have a shovel,
Yeah,
yes.
that's weapon in the game.
Liberator Penetrator, and we got like an EAT.
I'm pretty sure that one.
Yeah,
that
that's
an explosible
explosive.
rocket? I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
explosive
explosible
rocket.
rocket.
Those goddamn Leviathans in the background.
Those things. They are cancer incarnate.
But yeah, I
I
think
just hear space
Yeah.
whale.
I think these events have been pretty fun, and I think that the Siege of Super Earth, well, it wasn't like a shit your pants moment. I think that was just overhyping. I think they shouldn't say shit like that. I really liked it. I think the amount of stuff they added was good.
It was a nice change of pace from all the other biomes.
Yes.
So, if they had taken into account the Chinese player base, I think it would have been a smash hit.
I think it is a smash
To be
hit
honest-
along everywhere in the world except China.
Well, all it did is just show what most MMO players already knew, that Chinese players are not good people.
China is asshole.
Yes, exactly.
An asshole.
But I think this is pretty
In the
good.
corner, under lock and key.
I think this event was good. I really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys, but the Super Earth Siege thing was actually really awesome. And I think it's great. Gibbs, it's a Escape from New York reference. I know it is. I know there's several references in this image, to be honest.
Multiple references.
But the big thing is it looks really cool because it's not just a reference, it also symbolizes something. It shows you how fallen the world is, but despite that, you have 4 great heroes, standing, proud, vigilant.
Given what's here, potential martyrs.
Also,
not
it's a
necessarily-
callback, Hibbs, to the original Join the Helldivers commercial.
They're even wearing the OG Helldiver armor, I think.
Yep.
So it's a callback to
They are.
HD1 as well.
Yeah, they're doing the ending of Join the Helldivers. And at the very end of the fucking... Yeah. With you have the super destroyer in the background and everything like that. Yeah, that's a callback to this because it's the superhero pose going on from the camera angle being low.
Mhm.
Yep. You got these heroes. It's the iconic heroes making a valiant stand surrounded by insurmountable odds. I really like this vehicle drawn off to the side and the little horde of boltless you can see.
I found
It's
the
good.
art for the previous update, which has the teddy bear in it.
The teddy bear.
Yep.
The teddy. I'll show it. When I was a little chat bitch, I too was scared. Take chat bitches.
You know one thing that I really like about that one? You can literally see one of the Helldivers just dropping a grenade at his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting overwhelmed.
Yes. No, I understand why they're doing it. It's just one of those nice little touches.
Yep, this was the Omens of Tyranny, which is the build up to this event. I think the big events like this are great. I like that the Omens of Tyranny literally builds to another thing. If they do these episodic things, I think that's really good. Like more like this. I hope that the next one they do is like this, where it's like a build up and then like a climax thing. That was good. I don't know. I like this event. I know some people are a little iffy on fighting squids, which is fair. Everybody prefers different factions like automatons, termites, or squids.
I don't like the shielding of the squids from the fucking invasion mission. Repel invasion, where they don't fucking die from nukes.
Yeah, that one.
that.
That's a bug, by the way. That's confirmed a bug. They're working on fixing it. They should have fixed that right away. Oh well.
Yeah, the fact that the nuke pistol can't just one-shot a bunch of those make those a lot harder.
Oh yeah.
Fucking in the escalation of freedom, they're actually standing on a fucking
Yeah, on a hell bomb.
Yeah, hold
on
on.
a hell bomb.
Escalation of Freedom is
Based.
the first story event, if I remember right.
It's introduction of the bots.
Well, not introduction, but the bots are like really upping their war game.
It was like the research. No, because that was after we wiped the bots off, and that was the research.
Yes.
Right?
Somehow the bots have come back.
The
Yeah.
Great Reclamation, I think it was called.
We're supposed to die yet, okay?
Okay, because yeah, this is the story event before Omens of Freedom. But yeah, they're literally standing on an armed hell bomb, or an unarmed.
No,
hell
it's
bomb.
unarmed. You can tell because it's white.
Damn.
Martyrs.
The
And there's a mine
Shabros.
about one's feet.
Yep, and he's throwing a offensive stratagem,
Yep.
or he's about to.
What's funny is in this one they show you holding the Super Earth flag, but it's not even a stratagem at this point in the game.
I'm pretty sure at this point it was just meant to be.
He was ahead of a
symbolic.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
symbolic.
It was
He's just ahead of
symboling.
his time.
it's
That's
ahead of
why
its
they
time,
had to
yeah.
kill him.
And
He got the assets too early.
But yeah, I hope that the next thing we get, I do hope that they hurry up and finish up like the vehicle strats. Also, one thing you do see in this picture, by the way, is we do see we have seen the automaton ships and what they look like, these big rectangles. So I think those are the ships we're going to have to shoot down in the mega cities when we fight them on the when we fight automatons. I have no idea what the hell the Terminids thing is going to be.
I'm.
It's gonna be
kind
that
of-
worm thing.
We'll see.
I think it's just gonna be fucking
Giant
meteors.
My bigger
Maybe.
concern with the bugs is the titans. How that's going to work in like mega cities.
That's what I think. I think it's gonna be the big tunneling thing.
Maybe. I mean, they might work completely different per faction. They might not even be similar like game modes. Because the
Yeah,
automatons
they might.
will be like they don't have ships that land and drop like factories like the Illuminate do. Because the Illuminate dropship is literally a mobile factory thing, which deploys troops. So the automatons might drop factory striders or something. I'm not sure. And they like walk through the city. That'd be pretty fucking sick.
I think the thing is that if the Bile Titans and the Terminid faction, they'll get dropped on destroyed cities, and so it's just that they're walking over all the rebel
Mhm.
instead.
I suppose that would be one way they could do it. Is they would basically just get different maps depending on which faction is invading Super Earth.
All right, Gibbs.
What's up?
What's
I'm
next?
Cyclist saying the USMC band played the Helldivers theme. That's funny.
That's great. United States Marine Corps knows where it's at.
I did
It
see
might
the
bring
video
us-
of that. Yeah, that did happen.
To
Did,
be fair, it's like
Can we bring that up? That'd be
hold up
kinda
a
fun to
second.
watch.
Yeah, go grab that. That's actually good.
I'll see if I can find
Oh,
it.
So
yeah.
what
I
makes
lost
this
it.
so interesting, by the way, is that when Halo was at its zenith point, the United States Army basically sort of quasi-endorsed the game. I think Helldivers is actually receiving the same treatment from the United States military. Though it's coming from a Swedish studio, it's just funny. Because if you want a symbol of heroism as like a poster thing,
Well,
Helldivers is
the
that
thing
now.
is, the military in general likes pro-military things because it usually encourages people to join.
Where's the thing you posted, Battle Brother? He's like, Jet Brother.
Trying to
Right,
find
just
a
looking for it.
non-TikTok.
Because
clip.
I just happened to see it in like my timeline, and I saw it, and it's like, oh hey, that's cool. And then I just scrolled past it, and this is like weeks ago.
Well, While they look for it, I guess we'll keep on rambling. But yeah, so basically, to get quickly back to my point about the review bombing thing. When it comes to review bombs, the big thing to remember is that review bombs don't always mean good in the industry. They are a good tool, but it is a tool that easily can be abused. And as we've seen China do multiple times, it's a tool they use to try to harass developers, harass players, and try to threaten the community. They attacked not just Helldivers 2 when they did this review bomb, they attacked every single player and every single nation across the world with one universal, basically post, about it. Because they don't like you. They don't, if you're South American, they don't like you. You're European, they don't like you. You're an African, they don't like you. You're Southeast Asia, they don't like you. You're in America, they hate you. They don't like you.
You're in the Middle East, they hate you. It's like they are literally xenophobic.
Yeah. It's literally not about, to me, Helldivers 2 is a game about working together against, it's escapism. It's about, whether you're Middle Eastern, whether you're from South America or Africa or Europe, it doesn't matter. Southeast Asia or even China, it doesn't matter. We're all playing together to have fun together. And this is sad to me because they don't want to have fun with you. Nor do they want to have fun with me. They hate you.
The only clip I've seen is a very short clip which I posted.
Crazy Templar donates $5 and says, do we know if the Sief will return? Yes, they will. They really should. #Avatar. The Sief troopers are just being tested in this event, but they are much more improved than the leaks of them. Not only are they being tested here, but they're going to be in, I think, some mission types is what people are guessing. There's also a leaked stratagem where you can call in your own Sief squad, and they're airlifted via dropship. And there's theories that different squads will have different loadouts and equipment. So you can get different types of Sief troopers to call into battle. And they'll follow you around, they'll help you perform objectives. There's even rumors going around that they're actually intending to make them get into vehicles and turrets and stuff. So that they can actually garrison turrets, so you can bring mountable things, and they can use them. So yeah, there's a lot of plans to do stuff with the Sief troopers from the sound of it, and the NPC troopers. So that's cool. Looks like they're actually going to do a lot more than most games ever do with NPCs. And make them integrated part of the fight, which is cool. I think they're just having trouble with pathing around.
I want to call in General Brash.
You can call in heroes.
Oh, that'd be.
You bring your General Brash strat. I'll bring my fucking John Helldiver.
Did we read Hero Yui's donation? That was 37 minutes ago.
I don't know. We might have missed it. Read it again.
Catching up on the stream, I have a feeling Gear 6 has been quietly cancelled.
I don't think so. Thank you for your donation, Hero Yui. I don't think it's going to be canceled. Because I think they did announce that they're going to keep working on it not that long ago, like a few months back, that they're going to keep working on it. They might, perhaps. I mean, I hope in a way they do, because to be honest with you, Gears 6, 4, and 5 and all that shit, it's just not good. If Gears Emergent State proves to be good and actually outperforms the new Gears shit, maybe they'll go all in with the new Gears stuff and give it all the resources it needs. Who knows? They really should go back and get the original writers and stuff like that. But Microsoft, for whatever reason, doesn't have... Microsoft EA, for whatever reason, the idea of going back and getting the old art directors or the old composers or, the original fucking, writers, that, or even programmers and stuff like that, this is just, completely, a foreign concept to them. So should we get specialists back? Should we, keep specialists on hand? Yeah, let's just rotate them out every month or so, every year. So that way, every time somebody joins these projects, and let's just say we have insider knowledge as to how the workings of Halo went, especially Halo Infinite. And from that insider knowledge, we know for a fact that when it comes to how Halo Infinite worked, they'd hire people on, they'd work on the project, they'd get rotated out, then the next person would be like, what the fuck? And then they'd try to get caught up and keep working, and then they'd get rotated out. Next person come on. And that was how they did it. It's a fucking shit show. You can't be rotating people out.
So
you need to keep people on board. You need to keep them on board. They rotate them out because they don't want to give them bonuses. They don't want them to move up and get ranks, basically promotions and stuff. And so the idea of rotating them is keeps it cheap. Well, you get what you fucking pay for.
And the funny thing about that business model is, if you look at the general rule of successful games, is low turnover.
Yep.
It is not rocket science. You just look at games that succeed and games that fail, and look at the business examples. It is not rocket science, but to Microsoft it is. I do need to add one quick thing about the Helldivers 2 Chinese thing. Steam added the tools needed to filter these people out, or detect them. It is actually quite easy. It's just a simple click. Oh, people from this region are review bombing. What are they saying? And they get flat, and those review bombings get flat.
It turns into an asterisk, and then it removes them from the calculation. Arrowhead needs to go in. I don't think Arrowhead will, because I think Arrowhead's taking a hands-off approach. They need to file with Steam and basically get those reviews flagged and basically removed from the review list.
Because they are off-topic reviews.
They're off-topic, yeah. All right, so the big thing is this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's it's a very short, literal just clip.
And that was actually the one that I remember
Right.
seeing as well going around.
Yeah, that is. Even the people in the crowd are like, what the hell?
Oh, I've heard of this. I think it was a YouTube short.
Yep, it's the Helldivers theme. That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing is, it's heroic. The music is heroic. When you play Helldivers 2, you are a hero. No matter what anyone says, even if the writers are out of touch with the idea of what Helldivers 2 is, it's possible. But regardless, they've made a game in which you are a hero, you are fighting for humanity, you are a good guy. And no matter what they say, that's never not going to be true.
It's like when people initially saw the automatons. They're the good guys. What did they do? No, they actually grind up people.
You know, like, when I look at all three of the factions, like in Helldivers 1 to Helldivers 2, Helldivers 1, there's an argument that could be hit, not for the automatons even then. The cyborgs are evil. But for the Illuminate, it's the only place where there could have been an argument. However, here, that argument is gone. We've done a whole like talk and podcast on this where we talked about literally like is like Helldivers 2 like could it be conceivable that Super Earth is evil? It's like totalitarian or perhaps probably, you know, controlling or authoritarian, yeah, in a way, but evil, no. And that's the big difference. Because evil would imply that they're actually outright doing evil things. The government of Super Earth is a flawed government, in my opinion, because it's not quite a real democracy, or a republic is what it would be called. It's more of like a authoritative, managed democracy where it's sort of all done by AI.
It is managed because, basically people, if I remember right,
the AI votes
like,
for you.
The AI votes for you.
Based on
You
preferences.
have a few questions and then based
Which honestly, if Super Earth really wanted to,
you fill out a questionnaire, and the questionnaire determines what you prefer, and then the AI processes that and then picks a candidate for you, so that you don't have to waste time looking for it.
Which it's like also, one of those things. If they actually had something which could do that, that would be nifty. But I would never trust that system.
Yeah. I always do research.
I want to point out when the writers were talking about Super Earth being evil, all of their perspective and what they were talking about, they were referring to the Helldivers 1 Super Earth. Nothing that I heard them mention or talk about applied to the Super Earth and Helldivers 2 anymore.
Yep.
Because in Helldivers 1, Super Earth was definitely the aggressors in every one of the wars. Yeah.
Humans don't live that long. That's true. So yeah.
So was Super Earth kind of evil in the first one? Yeah, probably. In 2, not really. No.
Yeah, they changed, and that's actually really
cool. They're literally working. It's a defensive war for sure now.
Not only is it a defensive war, but literally because player actions actually have impact on the story in this one. We went to save the children's hospital. Like that event can't be understated. Anytime there was like troopers wounded or something like that, Helldivers showed up to do side MMOs that didn't. These side MMOs didn't do anything to help the actual like equipment. They were just at the expense of all the players, so we actually didn't get our mines or whatever early. And because we did that instead, it showed how much the players actually determined the morality of Super Earth. And the players determined that the morality of Super Earth is good.
Yeah, I feel like the devs are actually realizing that, because I mean, look at how all the NPCs react to the Helldivers.
Yeah, I think the devs have realized it too. Because I mean, Buck, you saw the NPCs and how they talk and what they say. But
Yeah,
like,
they're
Like,
the
when they
Halo
see you
Marines.
die, they actually like cry, like they're completely distraught if you die.
they're like, oh, thank God the Helldivers are here. Like, oh my God, it's them. It's really them. It's because they've only heard rumors of Helldivers. You know, they've been stationed on Super Earth. They've never seen them, and they've been fighting in those parts of megacities. And when a Helldiver shows up to that section of a megacity, they've never seen you. They've heard of you. They've heard legends of you. Everybody wants to be what you are. You're a hero. You are one of the proud few who go into operations and missions with the high possibility that you're going to die. And basically,
Also-
after that operation, you go into another operation. Like,
Yeah, no,
Helldivers
unironically,
don't really survive. Helldivers are fucking heroes.
They just
Jano
keep
points
going from
out-
warfront to warfront to warfront.
For an authoritative regime, they let their special forces just do what missions they want.
The special forces have autonomy to choose. Yes.
Yeah. So like, no, the Super of the Helldivers 2, drastically different beast than the first one.
I think this game is fucking awesome. But that's just me. I think this game is...
Yeah, no.
This is like
it's-
Halo
it's
3,
fantastic.
but what we have in 2025. Yeah, we don't have like the multiplayer or like whatever of like the modern era. But it is what it is. The few, the proud, the Helldiver. Pretty much. It's John Helldiver. You see, authoritarian means to freedom, to choose. Hang on a sec. Gregor's like, he's pog fishing out. He's pog fishing out.
Scratch his chin.
Scratch his chin. Big tinky.
I look forward to when we get to Fuzzy's topic so that Kibbs can get out of the conspiracy board again.
No. Have we gone through everything?
That is my
Conspiracy
thing,
board.
but
If we
kinda
have-
just talked about it.
We could talk about the fake fan Helldivers people image. Let me go
You mean
find
the
it.
bug posters?
Well, there's a
Bug-
ton of
bug
people that
hole.
pretend to like Helldivers 2 because it's popular, but they actually don't like Helldivers 2. They fucking hate it. Like, there's a bunch of Twitter accounts, like Helldiver meme accounts or whatever they call them, that post Helldiver, but they just use those accounts as soapbox. They're not actually posting Helldivers memes. They're just soapboxing their opinions.
They're just
Yeah, there
copy
was,
pasting other people's stuff as well.
Yeah, let me
They're
go
just
look
stealing
for
memes.
it. It's
Some of those bigger ones
reposters.
were shilling for
Check.
China, so they're just Chinese accounts.
so
Which, to be
I'll
fair,
send this to
people still
Kibbs, and Kibbs can determine whether or not he wants to cover this.
Fuzzy's getting chicken.
So it's not
Hey,
the
Fuzzy.
person. So the Helldivers meme account posts this and says wrong flag because this other person has posted a mod of them saying that they're rebelling against High Command in their own way, and they have a trans flag on the Super Earth
yeah,
flag
those.
and the cape, and then people are like, no, Super Earth is, definitely for this type of expression, and it's like, yeah, but they're literally saying they're rebelling against High Command.
Yeah,
They're not a fan of Helldivers. They're
They
not a
hate
fan
it.
of Super Earth. They have conflated the trans flag with rebelling against Super Earth.
Not only that, by the way, but I've checked the forums. It's one of the few games where I'm actually not active in the forums, but I've seen it. There are people that go into the forums that ask for LGBTQ flags and stuff to be added to the capes and stuff. But what's interesting is you'll see a little mouse thing appear next to a person that actually owns and plays the game. The people advocating for this are like, oh man, I love this game, but I really wish they'd add this. Like, it would really help out. And then people are like, you don't own this game. You don't even play this game. Like,
Yeah, you're just going on the forums trying to push this bullshit.
you're trying to push bullshit into a popular blank item, and you don't give a flying fuck about the quality of Helldivers 2. You don't care about the players, you don't care about the community, you don't care about the game. You don't even have the goddamn game. Fuck off. I hate
Yeah.
that shit.
But yeah, but the thing is going on, you see a bunch of the fucking these type of people supporting it, and I was arguing with somebody like the other day, and they're talking about how the fucking lore that Super Earth would be supportive of these things. And it's like, no, literally Super Earth has a eugenics program called the Ministry of Humanity that weeds out these type of diseases and weaknesses and shit like that. And they also support family values like having children.
Yeah.
They just
Because-
curtail it.
Yeah, no, because
I gotta pull up the
having a productive family is good for society because it is a happy taxpayer that makes more taxpayers.
Yes.
Therefore makes more taxpayers, therefore makes
I
more
put it-
citizens.
Yeah. And that's one of the big things is that like holy shit. And then this person goes, well, Helldivers is satire. They actually the studio supports it. And I'm like, okay, but you just blatantly lied to me thinking I wouldn't know.
Which means you're probably lying again.
Yes. And then I point out how the mods got either fired or demoted for the shit they pulled earlier in the release of the game.
Yep.
So yeah, the words rebelling would mean that democracy officer would just put a bullet in them.
Yeah, no, like the big thing about this is that if you have to wear a flag that shows your sexuality, do I go around wearing a flag that I am heterosexual? No, because that's retarded. Because that's retarded.
Okay, but not only that, the mod is on the
You
client
should.
side.
It's on the client side, so no one else can see it.
Like they have to announce to everybody that they have it.
Yeah,
That's how not actually what they're doing. Like they're claiming they're doing.
the only
is-
thing they're doing here is they're snapping a photo and using that to signal boost. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking retarded. Oh my god, I just can't stand
Okay.
these things. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it.
They're so entitled. They're entitled to shove this in everybody's faces, and we're supposed to just deal with it.
It's like, no, don't add. What I love about Helldivers is that the studio understands that it's all in lore. Like the armor sets, they keep it low, so it's actually in lore. The flags are in lore. There's no U.S. flag. There's no China flag. There's no Swedish flag. You know
Because
why?
at this point in the
It's
timeline,
the Super Earth flag. We're one
because at this point in the
people.
timeline, it is just Super Earth. There's no U.S., there's no EU, there's no China, there's like none of that.
Humanity is
only-
united under one flag.
The only difference you have is the fucking front, the cape of which you have, which is emblematic of the front you are on, or whatever you're fighting, or what unit you're in. And last time I checked, there's no trans unit or trans people in the Super Earth universe.
But it doesn't really make sense. Like, okay, like you're not gonna
Correct.
reproduce. Okay, so like, all right.
Yeah, they were like, oh,
So you're not
they were
filling out
like,
your C-01 form. Gotcha.
yeah.
Which,
So-
with the conclusion of Super Earth, they literally said they're permitting more to be filled out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I filled out my CO1. Hey
quintuple.
ladies,
Yeah,
I'm looking to make some new
Steve
citizens.
Chan is single, I hear.
Yeah. So Kim, here's another thing, right? The person I was arguing with was like, well, what makes you think that not 100 years into the future or however long into the future that this won't be part of family values? I'm like, well, how do you think that far in the future this shit would actually still exist through a eugenics program?
It's not going
It
to.
is being actively maintained.
Yeah, actively maintained and mandatory.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
And then they fell apart. Yeah, they just fucking got angry.
It's like, it's not gonna exist. It doesn't exist because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't belong in the setting. Like if there are gay people or straight people, it doesn't even matter either way in the setting either. Like it's just not what this game is about. It's not what the story's about. Nobody gives a shit, right?
Also, last time I checked, you don't even get to really see the skin color of your character, right?
You can if the
You
armor set.
can if you have the
Your character actually
jungle
changes.
armor.
So if you wear the jungle armor, every time you spawn, the skin color of your arm changes.
is
Because
randomly selected.
because you
yeah.
can't. The reason why you can't make a character creator or customize it because you are
You're
one.
a different person every time.
Every time you die, you're playing as a different trooper. That's what's so cool about this game. This game is actually like a childhood fantasy of mine because I had an idea for like something like this too, and a lot of people did. But yeah, no. The big thing is that you're not playing as some named character. You're not Kibbs. You're not Bucky. You're Bucky 76.
You're the spirit of freedom.
Yeah.
That's coursing through these people.
Yeah, you're the idea.
of
That's
freedom,
true.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
are the spirit of freedom inside them, controlling them and driving them to victory, right? Or giving them
Yep.
their heroic sacrifice. Then, when you call in the reinforcements, that's in canon. You're calling in literally reinforcements. That guy who died
Yeah,
is dead. He died on that planet. It's tracked on the log of how many people died on that planet. It's tracked in the war tracker and how many people died in the war.
Yeah.
He's dead now, forever. Gone. That's another dead
Also,
trooper.
kids,
Another dead hero.
checking the chat. Moogie posting.
Moogie.
Look what he
I
posted.
filled out my 1-C6 times. He's just
So we
sad.
know that he's a bug. He's a bot diver, Kibbs.
He is.
He doesn't know what the form name is called.
He doesn't.
He's not from Super Earth. He's an imposter.
Moogie's a fake. He's a
One of them,
machine.
they're pretenders.
Yep.
He doesn't want you to know that you can fill out your form. You can
I
get your
went and
very
looked
own
at the
Steve Chan.
fucking-
You can get
I
as
went
many
and looked at
children
the-
as you want. Many children as you
I
want.
went and looked at the fucking comments on that post, and it's just. I remember why I don't look at comments on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm not scrolling down on this.
Brock, is this
yeah,
true?
you don't want to.
You don't.
No, it's a bunch of the same people. Like, you're not a real helldiver if you don't support the train.
Oh my god.
God damn.
It's the entitlement.
Now I gotta translate that, Moogie.
Translate. Fucking starts
Punish yourself.
Binary
Oh.
translator search.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Awful.
Funny.
Womp womp.
Kibbs.
Why does it translate to Mandarin?
Okay,
my
Gibbs,
God.
I will send this to you. But this is the person I was arguing with yesterday. It's not going to be in the stream room because
Yeah, I don't want to
obvious
draw
reasons.
attention to them. Oh my god, that looks like somebody who doesn't play Helldivers.
Mhm. Super Earth does not discriminate.
No, is the right flag. We love our blank rights. I don't even want to say the word. Super Earth does not discriminate. That's not true.
Literally, Super Earth ranks its citizens in classification levels.
Mhm.
High class citizens and low class citizens.
Our most equal citizens.
Yeah,
most
and
equal
subversives.
system, yeah. There is a
Well, no, they
merit-based
literally
system.
say high class citizens. Whenever they talk about the mega cities being under attack.
Yeah, living on Super Earth, you have to be a high-class citizen to
Correct.
live there. Only high-class citizens are allowed to live on Super Earth, and so you have to work your way up citizens-wise to get there. It's a privilege to live on Super Earth. You can live on any other planet in the galaxy, but yeah, to get on Super Earth, you have to earn that. Because it's
I don't know what foul language Moogie has used, but Google can't translate it.
I want to say yes, but I don't have the game.
Super discriminates a lot, actually.
Yeah, no, it literally does. Dude, it's entire you say the wrong fucking word, you're dead.
Pretty much.
Like
It's basically EU taken to the extreme of.
They have to be worried about subversives due to the fact that A, they know that bot subversives are a thing, and they're broadcasting illegal broadcasts and basically stuff like that to subvert super citizens to
squids.
betray. And squids have literal fucking mind control. They have to. If you say the wrong thing, you could be an unironic traitor because you might actually be affected by the squid's mind.
And
control.
here's the thing. It could be even so subtle that you don't even realize that you're actually being controlled.
That's why they have to deal
Super
with
Earth does actually. You do have a lot of freedom, so long as you fill out all the correct forms and permits.
Yeah.
It's super
It's just
bureaucracy.
extreme. It's just extreme bureaucracy, just excessive.
I would want to live
bureaucracy.
there. No, like having to fill out a form to get a goldfish. Oh my god.
We should request that.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Literally to do anything, basically.
You get your
Massive.
pet goldfish. Didn't we lose our pet goldfish or something like that?
They executed the pet goldfish of the traitor Helldivers who abused some mechanics.
They executed the pet goldfish.
The fact they just flat out say executed just amuses me. We executed the traitor goldfish.
Oh my fucking god, it's so funny.
In my mind, the Jedi are evil, says Blade.
From my point of view, the Super Earth is evil. Meanwhile, behind him, like automatons holding down civilians, cutting up into little pieces. Anakin, what the fuck?
Illuminate literally merging people into flesh abominations.
Terminates
hey,
eating
kids.
people.
Not only that, the same account is reposting this.
And what's this? Are the most equal of all. Yep.
I'm more equal than you. An unironic fucking communist meme. God damn it.
Yeah,
He
look
was
what the
just more
person's saying.
equal than you.
Yeah, it says,
Report this account.
What account?
You can't see it because I'm not sending it to you.
Yeah. Basically, it's a post that says, everyone is equal, but the Helldivers are the most equal of all. Because, no.
Yeah, but that's the image. The account that is actually typing the response is saying, report the account.
Ah,
For posting a literal quote from the game, yes.
No, that's them, Kips. Stop fucking misreading.
Impossible.
That account is literally saying, after they have posted an image, report the fucking meme account. Meaning they want to flag it down.
I know.
Okay, I'm just saying.
That's what I said.
No, it's not what you said.
Goober. But yes. So, Fuzzy, your topic. We've talked about the Helldivers thing long enough.
Yeah, I just looking for recent news. Which one would you want to talk about? Microsoft, EA, or Borderlands? Specifically, Randy.
Boy. Let me just open up these things.
Randy,
Billy, what was the thing you wanted to talk about?
Fire going. It was talking about the. Let me roll back up.
Deprocess the game. Yeah.
Sure. The deprofessionalization of video games.
Tell us about it, Kitchen. Tell us about it before I kill Kitchen.
Okay, so I'm gonna summarize the article because the article had so much fucking fluff. But what it's actually saying is that a lot of the AAA space developers are leaving that area to go do indie projects or become freelance workers for indie projects.
Yep.
And the article itself is complaining that what will happen to the writers and the other people, because I don't really care about the other people, but I'll mention them because my actual focus is the writer, because I'm a games journal. I'm a writer myself.
Yes, he's not actually writing like game lore and stuff. He just fucking.
Because he references the artist and the musician slash what's called composers. If you know how important composers are, they're not going to get lost, or they will find work somewhere else because, like, they can do work elsewhere. And artists are a dime a dozen. That's just the important of them. It's just because I think it is. Like, do we all know that games journalists are just in bed with like AAA corporations? Like, is that just a thing we already know?
Thing is, I feel like it's
That's pretty
blatantly
old news.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't feel a need to have to explain that. Yeah, they're in bed with them, and the fact
Like,
that the
ever
AAA space
since,
is crumbling is kind of an issue for game journalists.
Unironically, ever since all the way back when, at like the Gamergate era, like people knew that was the case.
But as it states here, at DICE and GDC this year, I heard talk of a trend in game development that sent a chill down my spine: deprofessionalization. As A16Z marketing partner Ryan K. Rigney defines it, deprofessionalization is a phenomenon driven by an overperformance of older titles, particularly free-to-play live service games. Large studios struggling to drive sales and the outsized success of some solo developers and small teams. These three forces, he argues, will combine to drive career professionals from traditional professionalized sides of the games industry.
Yeah. He's just retarded. He's just That's all I have to say. Like, the thing is that the reason. Okay, so I know a few developers in the AAA industry, and I know a few of them that are actually leaving the AAA industry, which is good for them. And they're actually excited about it. Most of them are actually most of the AAA developers I know are either A, working on their own indie projects on the side, B, working on leaving the AAA industry to try to push towards something more passionate so they can get something done. But a lot of people want to get out of the AAA industry inside the People are inside it. People who actually care about making games. And the reason why they want to get out is because being a part of it is literally the worst fucking thing imaginable. Like, it is so bad I can't tell you the stories because I said I wouldn't, because that would spoil things. But it's hell. It is abject hell to work for Microsoft. It is abject hell to work for Sony. It is abject hell to work for EA. It's abject hell to work for any of these companies or studios. It's just hell. It's hell. Blizzard's hell. They're all hell. Nobody wants to work for them. And working in them is no longer like a pride thing anymore like it used to be about a decade and a half ago. Because back then, it used to be like, oh my god, I'm working for like this big name studio. Like, it was a rock star level, you know? Like, people were excited. Now, that doesn't exist anymore. Now it's all about getting the hell out of there. Because yes, is it stable? Not really, and not anymore. And it never really was to begin with. But there's this illusion that a lot of people have that it is stable. The reality is the AAA industry has never been stable. Your game and your studio is entirely reliant on it being successful and being, well done and made well. It only takes a couple bad games to tank a legendary studio. Look at Ensemble Studios, right? The makers of the legendary Age of Empires franchise. They're gone now. They died. How did they die? They made a console RTS, killed them. Creative Assembly, legendary studio, made Medieval 2. What happened to them? They're dead now. The only Creative Assembly that's left is the other one that nobody cares about, that makes bad games. The Australian team died. Why did they die? They made a game called Stormrise, console RTS, got killed doing a suicidal mission. Good luck. EA Los Angeles made lots of great games, got killed, made Command & Conquer 4 Twilight. It happens all the time. And are these major studios, these big names, safe? No. Westwood, is it safe? Died making Renegade and Emperor Battle for Dune. Dead. Gone.
Murdered in your bed.
Like, fucking Lionhead Studios died making Fable 3. Whatever the hell it was.
Thank you, Peter Molyneux.
Like, Bullfrog Studios, dead. Like, all these two, dead. Black Isle, dead. Yeah, Bullfrog is perfect.
Lion's Head.
Lionhead,
See a
yes.
mass grave of
They're
dev
dead.
studios.
They're dead. Gone. Dead. Gone. Dead. Gone. Dead. Gone. Dead.
Murdered. Killed.
The ones that are still around, like Relic, is Relic from like ages of yore? No, everyone that worked there is either dead or retired. They've moved on to different studios. Most people that worked like Bungie, most people that worked on the OG Halos retired or dead.
Yeah, I've talked to some of those people on my degree courses. He hates Microsoft leadership with a burning passion.
These great
Considers them
studios
all
are
idiots.
gone. Visceral, yeah, another one. Dead, gone. Pandemic, dead, gone. Dead.
Oh God, we should create a meme of just mass grave of AAA studios and the
They're all
publishers just
dead.
throwing them dead.
No, but you'd be surprised how many developers are actually dead now. Either have, died from an accident, died prematurely, died too young, but a lot of them are actually kind of like disappearing. And those developers from that great era are going to start dying. And they've already begun the dying process. That knowledge and information is now fading away. And if no one passes that knowledge down, which they aren't passing that knowledge down, partially their fault, but partially not, because they can't, because the studios that they would be if they were competently run, should be passing down that knowledge to the next generation of developers that come in there. They're not passing down that knowledge. They either retired or they quit. Only a handful of people from the old days are still developing games or even talking to developers to pass down the knowledge of what they know and what they learned. And only a handful of them are doing that, by the way. The rest of them have either retired or are dead.
It's been, 40 years since that golden era kind of started? That's almost an entire generations of work life, of your entire career worth of work. It's like, assuming if you're 20 years old during that golden age, you're probably, late 50s to 60 by now. You're borderline retired, or should be thinking of retirement. And that's what we're at now.
Yep.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. So the big issue is that because they didn't retire until fucking late and didn't train anybody, they're all gone.
Yep, they're not training any new people. Now, the one benefit is, when it comes to getting into the industry, a lot of developers told me that one of the strengths you have is playing games, especially when you're younger. And so a lot of the new developers coming into the industry are coming in with a lot of passion, fire, and zeal, which is good. But they're falling into the traps of, oh, I'm going to go work for the big name studio, not realizing that that's just a meat grinder. So there is a lot of passion and zeal in younger developers. I was fortunate to be one of the younger ones to realize that I didn't want to go into AAA because I realized it was a trap. But many other little fishies that were like me swam right into the little grinder. Disappearing into the little
fish chow.
little chum. Like, damn, they're gone, boys.
You know what some of them are making? They're making little barrels now. Barrels for Bethesda games.
Barrels for Bethesda games. Rip. Oh, but the big thing is that when it comes to this, a lot of other indies like myself and others, even before me, much before me, have realized this as well and started to produce their own things way back when. Like Project John Boy started with Indie Stone, right? Little tiny indie team now has gone and continued to work on their game and has basically defied the odds. People didn't think they would make it. People were getting mad and turning their backs on them, but they didn't give up and they kept going. And they're like, no, we're going to build this game. It's going to take us years, but if you're committed to sticking with us, we'll get there together. And look at them go. Look at them go. They're still going, and they're doing a great job. Factorio Dev, fucking Jesus Christ. He has managed to just churn out that nightmare of a game. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Nut job.
Now you can go to other planets.
Now it's even more complicated.
Now you have to do actual space travel and even more.
But yeah, the big thing is
grind.
there's a lot of indies and developers that realize that I can make the game of my dreams. I don't have to do it. You know what I was told originally? This was advice from my uncle way back when. He's like, yeah, because this is how it was. So you would attend things like the Greenlight Summit or various summits or events, right? And I attended the Greenlight. But the big thing is that these events you would attend would give you connections. You'd talk to people. You'd make connections with big name developers and stuff like that. And then they'd slowly introduce you to other people, and you'd slowly work your way into the know and into the industry sphere. I worked for a team that I can't even remember the name of on a game. I can't even recall. I don't even think they ever made it. But yeah, it was like it was at the tail end of the Rockstar period, because it was like some sort of fucking Facebook game or whatever, and it was like just a nightmare of a job. Where it's like, yeah, just play other games and research them and tell us the research you've gathered about it. And it's like, okay, so you guys don't even know what the fuck you're doing? What the fuck you're doing? We don't even have a fucking inkling. There's a shit show. It's a shit show. Well, how are they working? You mean you don't know? Why did you want to make a game here to begin with? It's like, because it's profitable? Okay, yeah, all right. Business mindset, not actually trying to understand what makes games fun. Oh, nightmare. But yeah, so the big thing is that it no longer works the way it used to, where you'd want to introduce yourself with people that were passionate and driven, because a lot of those people with passion and drive either retired because they got success, or gave up, or moved on with their lives. They're not there anymore. And the people that filled in the gaps as that turning point happened in 2010 and 8 and 9, like that turning point, what happened there was that a lot of people, at least when the spheres I was interacting with, circles, were basically like moving on with their life. They had kids, they wanted to settle down, they didn't want to make games anymore, and they wanted to go do other things. And the people that replaced them didn't really care about games. They were more business types, and they were here because it's profitable. The video game industry is huge. It's one of the biggest industries on the planet, and they want a taste of that money. They want to make mobile games. They want to make Facebook games. So at the time, that was a huge trend. And I remember that trend because I was there. They want to make like free-to-play models. I was there for the beta and the alpha of several of those games. And I remember the mindset for those teams. Like the Generals 2 one was a fucking travesty. I'm glad you guys never saw that. I'm glad it died in the oven. God, good riddance. Fucking microtransaction hellhole. Fucking microtransaction for units, dude. Kill myself. Oh my god. Oh my. But yeah, no, like it's terrible. And the big thing is that when it comes to all this stuff, these people have now been at the height of power, and all the people who are passionate have now been cycled out of power. Hence why following 2013 and 14, and when you enter 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you see nothing but bad, nothing bad. Because all those people are gone now. They've been cycled out. And there are a few people, relics of the bygone era, still there, right? Like, to its credit, Todd Howard, despite his many faults, the reason why Indiana Jones The Great Circle turned out good was because he physically got in the way of it being bad. Because he actually so happened to care about that setting. He intervened. Because had he not intervened, that game would not have been as good as it was. And it was thanks to the fact that an old guard, even though he's a flawed old dog, just like Peter Molyneux and those old ones from the yesteryear, right? He actually intervened. So, when it comes to the industry, there's going to be a cycle. And Squealy talking about this is pointing out this cycle is coming. And it's been coming in a while. It's been happening for a while. But the AAAs of today are going to falter. And good people will rise up from the cracks, and the cycle will begin anew. And as that cycle rejuvenates, I don't think we're going to really learn anything from the previous cycle. It's going to more or less be, we're going to have another area of great gaming, and we're on the precipice of that era of great gaming. It's coming. It's we can see some of the games, and we've tasted some of them already. More are on the way. But as it cycles again, brace yourselves, in another decade time, or decade plus, that cycle will renew itself again. We'll have shit.
Speaking of AAA's crashing and burning,
What?
go to the Microsoft one.
Microsoft.
The story that will help speed up this decline. Just yet another example in the general trend. Unions will speed that up. As you're seeing this, it's not just ZeniMax. Speaking of ZeniMax, imagine what Indiana Jones would have been had ZeniMax unionized before that game finished. Oh jeez, oh my. I don't think Todd would have been able to correct as much. But yeah, you're starting to see this general trend of unionization in the games industry. And this is the finalization of a trend that started, at least in Microsoft's envisions, ever since it started buying ZeniMax and Activision Blizzard. What's going to happen because of this? You're going to see a lot of the bad employees solidified, and you're going to see the good employees leave. Guys, the problem with these unions and what they're not realizing, the reason why wages and a lot of pays the way it is in the games industry is a simple supply and demand problem. You have a ridiculous amount of supply and still a ridiculous amount of supply, but the demand for those employees is not nearly as big. What happens? They're able to treat you like shit, combined with bad leadership. These things happen. Microsoft is only doing this is because a lot of these people are located in California, and states that favor unions, which means they're kind of pressured to do that. But it's not going to change the fact that how is this going to help the paying customer? As you just pointed out just a second ago, Kibbs, the Bethesda studio, that Machine Games that made Indiana Jones, how would that have done if Todd would have been limited in how he managed that studio, and the woke elements of the developer crowd got managed to get with a lot more of what they wanted? As one thing you're noticing, a lot of these unions people, they're acting like they're the ones that should be making the business decisions, that they're the ones that should be telling the gamers what they want, and you see that a lot of the time. As much as we like to, and rightfully so, shit on a lot of leadership, it's important to point out a lot of the people that move up and get into a lot of these big AAA developers, they're not exactly the ones that care about selling a product that people want to buy. A lot of them only care about their ideology, and you see that when you look at, say, developer interviews and stuff like that, and you just look at these people, the way they look, they present themselves, they talk, and how they talk about how they design the game. This is not going to help that, as this is only going to solidify bad talent, and as the good talent leave and has been leaving, you're going to see a lot of these developers are realizing that, yeah, you can have all the union protections you want. If you don't produce the money, you'll never be protected, and that's been happening again and again and again. The way these companies are run just doesn't support the amount of people on the payroll, and this is not going to help.
Yep, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. The big thing is that unions, introducing them into the gaming industry, would be a disaster.
It's too much competition.
Yep.
Yeah, because the worst part is, and I'm not going to cite you with that 200-page data presentation. I've already read it.
Okay.
The industry is flat right now in terms of game spending. It might have picked up, but it's mostly flat right now, and the people that are struggling the most to convince people to pay for their products are the AAA devs. They're actually losing a lot of ground to the AA's and indies right now. There's a fierce competition, as the COVID bubble that resulted in a lot of people playing a lot more video games, that trend did not continue. It flatlined.
Question: do we still classifying Helldivers as a AA?
It's weird because
they were published by Sony.
the publisher
Well,
is
the
Sony.
publisher.
Sony didn't do a whole lot.
Sony is a publisher, not a developer. That's not the same thing.
Yep, the studio has a AAA publisher, but has the resources.
The budget.
That's
had
like
the
No Man's
resource of a
Sky
AA.
being classified as a AAA game because its fucking publisher was, what was it, Sony or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or
The
Epic.
budget is not AAA, and that's for sure. So no.
We know for a fact, based on certain leaks and like the developers talking about it, not blaming Sony outright, but we know that a lot of cut features were down to the fact that the time and budget and the resources that Sony had given them was barely anything. Now that we're starting to see what Helldivers 2 was supposed to be vision-wise, and we're getting only a glimpse of that iceberg-wise through these patches and updates, the game that Arrowhead wanted to make versus what Sony was going to let them make are two fucking different identities.
Yeah.
Massive scale.
I also find it fucking hilarious that Helldivers is gone this long, and what was it? Bungie's trying to release Marathon, and it's already dead on arrival.
That's true. Helldivers has managed
That's
to
a
survive
lot of
catastrophe
money.
after catastrophe, though, in terms of PR. Miracle. And that's only a miracle because the studio and the team have done a good job. There's also been a lot of attempts to sabotage by what I call the I don't know what you call them, the black pill crowd, where it's like everything must be bad, and because the content is vulture based, means that they can only succeed if someone fails. Because
Also
I know
the accelerationists as well.
Yep, because they want it to burn, and so like anytime there's a disaster, they get excited, but then the game manages to recover, or not only that, but improve itself. Then they get incredibly angry at its success. I know this because I speak to a few people that so happen to think this way, but details. But the big thing is that I find it fascinating. Helldivers 2 has outperformed pretty much all of their expectations and is continuing to do well, and is doing even better in spite of the Chinese review bomb. In fact, I think the vast majority of people that don't give a shit. But like this Super Siege event went really well. Everybody I talked to that played it enjoyed it. There's some things that people wish would have improved, but everyone seems happy and wants more, and I want more. I think Helldivers 2 is going to be strong for another year, at least. And if Arrowhead continues to manage it, I think it will have a great run. So long as Arrowhead doesn't allow the people coming in to not be vetted. Because now we do know that Arrowhead is recruiting new personnel and staff because they're expanding, which is good. However, the question is that CD Projekt Red did the exact same thing when they expanded. However, they allowed anybody in. And the people that went clamoring to CD Projekt Red were the same vulture, parasite, leech fuckers that ruin everything they touch.
Yeah, there was two facts around CD Projekt Red I think it's important to point out. One, if I recall correctly, they took BlackRock money. And two,
Boom.
when you look at the pre-production of, oh my god, Cyberpunk was very problematic. They did not realize that all the technical and pre-production work, which was not done, was going to be massive. They had to develop the dev tools as they developed the game, and in order to meet the strict deadline the CEO put, they had to staff up. So you have a desperate situation, and you have a lot of opportunistic woke vultures that saw an opportunity. What happened? Right into the company. You have a bunch of CEOs that have de facto lost their touch when they were making Witcher 1 and 2. Now, will Arrowhead suffer that same fate? Yeah, I don't entirely know the inner workings. It is definitely something to hold their feet to the fire of, hey, don't make the same mistake. Be careful.
Absolutely. I just hope that we see more companies like Arrowhead emerge from Sony. Like, in spite of it. It's the first time I've ever seen Sony produce something. Well, something around Sony's bubble produce something.
If we want to be the most
Produce
generous,
something.
publish.
Since like PlayStation 3 era. So it's been many years. Many years.
I'm not
Relagio
locating
asks,
something for you.
You think Helldivers will open up to Xbox and or reopen to the nations they cut off?
Sony is going to actively fight that.
Yeah.
I know that
Sony
for a
hates
fact.
crossplay.
The cut off nations are ones that basically don't have PSN.
Yes. I hope to God they do, my friend. I hope to God they do. Because I know Arrowhead for a fact wants to put it on Xbox. They want to, but I don't think Sony's going to let them. And
Yeah. Also, I
Xbox
have to
wants them to
answer
put
on
something on there. And we do know that Xbox and Arrowhead have been talking to each other because they did do some talking. So the Xbox might have reached out to them and basically asked for a game. So who knows? Maybe it turns out that next Arrowhead game that's in the works, who knows? Maybe Arrowhead's working on a Halo game. And that would be nuts.
Oh. Yeah. Now, I did see one comment mention that DEI in a lot of these AAA studios is a significant factor. I don't think it's the only factor, but definitely one of the key factors. As a DEI, on top of them getting expensive administrative salaries without doing any meaningful work, they also ruin the hiring and development processes of everything else. The engineers, the artists, a lot of it, animation, a lot of those other stuff suffer because of this. You hire a bunch of people of ideology that don't know how to do the work, and then you throw a union on top of that. It's just, you're just throwing more and more gasoline onto the fire.
True. Crazy Temple donates $5 and says, I have a friend who is furious at Arrowhead because the siege didn't last 2 weeks. He was busy doing his finals, so he didn't get a chance to play. Hashtag Avatar. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well.
What's funny is other people said the exact opposite. Like, oh, thank God we can take a break. And it had it gone on for 2
can
weeks.
you imagine
fatigue.
fighting fucking
Fatigue.
Illuminate for 2 weeks straight?
Like,
That would have been hell.
I understand that it sucks that if you missed out on the event, but on the bright side, you will be getting the benefits of the event. Like, the mega cities, they're now working on making them for the automatons and the bugs so that we can play against them, and there'll be a new type of operation type on all the planets. That's at least what I was told, which is really cool.
That's what I'm under
So
the impression of as well.
more, they want to expand the sandbox and the amount of sandbox mission types, and the mega cities are just step one in that. They have more plans for more stuff as well behind that.
Give me back the fucking SAM sites.
Seriously.
Yeah,
For the
really.
love of God.
That-
I know
Fighting
why
those
they're
into-
off, so we could test the stuff. But like, my God, give us back.
We really
some
should have
sites.
had those a bit. We should have had those a bit into the Super Earth Siege, as those Leviathans and less so the interlopers.
Oh my
but
God, the
especially
SAM
those
site would be
Leviathans.
glorious against the Leviathan. Desperately needed.
Yeah,
What you
which is
need
why they
is
took them
something-
away.
Yeah, that's literally the reason they took them away, so they could test to see how it.
Okay,
behaved.
remember, somebody said that they took the SAM sites away to Super Earth for its defense, and then they weren't there.
That was my theory. I was just throwing that out
Oh,
there.
so you were
Clearly it was
wrong.
Yeah,
Everybody
it
gang
was-
up on
that was
him.
far
Everybody
worse.
gang
Yeah.
up on him.
Next
Why would
time,
you say that,
Chelsea,
but
keep
you're
your
lying?
They weren't
theories
just
to
testing
yourself.
the interloper, they were testing the
No, I'm
Leviathan.
sharing.
Oh.
Can't
Alright,
believe Squealy lied
Spunky
to us,
Monkey
chat.
donates $5. I
Did
find
you-
it frustrating
message
that
me?
certain
damn it.
individuals want Stellar Blade to fail. I really don't understand the hate. That's fair. You know why? Okay, I can actually tell you why. It's pretty simple. So there are a lot of people, and there's a subset of content creators that make content that is dedicated to like anti-woke stuff, or usually, or not just that in general, but it's like woke stuff is bad. We all know that. That's not a debate.
Mhm.
It's cringe. It makes me want to puke. But these subset of content creators are what we call vultures. They celebrate and revel in failure because they've made their content about failed content. So if a game is bad, that's amazing. So they pray that every game is bad because they can make content out of it, which is
On the
terrible because we want games to be good, not bad.
Which is funny because a lot of these people remember when times were good and it was all to celebrate, and they forgot how to, or
Remember,
I don't know, forget, but
there's a
they-
monetary incentive. Money is the reason. Viewership is the reason.
Yeah.
That's the cause.
yeah.
What's
on
up,
the
Bucky?
flip side of your union discussion, Kibbs, I posted something to you directly
You're a little
on
squirrely.
why a union may be necessary when you're working with a foreign studio.
What happened? That contract being broken and again, not paying it on time. Oh yeah, if it's foreign's, yeah. But the thing is, in the U.S., we have basic fucking laws to protect workers.
Basically, chat, unless Kibbs is going to bring it up on
I'll pull it
screen.
up.
Yeah, pull it
One
up.
second. God damn it, you posted in the chat.
Well, okay, I could post it in chat.
I do it.
I'll do it right now.
Next thing you post, you
Oh,
shouldn't have posted that.
This explodes.
Vomitations.
Kibbs gay in chat post. There you go.
Copy link. sends it back to Bucky. He's like, why did you send me this? I already have this.
Bucky, look what I found.
Hey,
Yeah,
check out
remember
what
that
I
a few
got.
times.
So yeah, this is a post from Genshin. Fucking hang out. Let's
Yeah,
read
Oh,
it.
it's, yeah, Genshin. New.
I interviewed Paimon's VA about the drama. So apparently there's some new drama that dropped. I hate covering stuff like this, but this is related to pay, so this is actually game development stuff. Let's see. Start with the top. Thanks, paper blah blah blah, for having me. But yeah, I make the announcement, says Karina Boatger. I assume that's her name. The announcement
VA, yeah.
here that after John got recast, that was the final straw for me. And I told Hoyo I was not coming back to record until they signed the SAG interim agreement, as I have still been dealing with my YouTube video. I interviewed Paimon's VA about the drama. Contract being broken again. Okay, I don't want to go in lore. I don't know if it's a real life picture or something.
I think it was like her contract being broken.
Yep, I'm reading
Yeah.
it. Contract being broken
it's-
again and again from them not paying me on time on a consistent basis. Not being paid within the 30 days as my contract states. Waiting anywhere from 3 to 5 months on
Yep.
average for my paychecks. This is why contracts means nothing if the game isn't union, because contracts are not enforceable without a union. Hoyo still refused to sign an AI protection
AI.
contract, and even if they did, since my contract and several of my castmates' contracts are broken on a regular basis. This is why we need SAG, because without SAG, these companies know that we do not have the money to fight them in court, as most of us, including myself, already live paycheck to paycheck. Oh my god, Genshin Impact is a disgusting company and corporation.
It's a
Chinese
Chinese
studio,
company.
right?
Why is anyone
Yes.
surprised?
I'm not surprised,
Yeah.
but that's just fucking
They do not give a
rancid.
shit about the people that they contract.
It's like we have evidence of Chinese companies abusing foreign labor, and this has been well known for a while.
Fuck Hoyo, and fuck that corporation to hell. That's fucked up. But, like, I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, because I do too, and many of their
Kitsune-
teammates do too. It's not
Kitsune
fucking
says-
pleasant.
She voice acted during the strike, and Hoyo fixed the issue with the third party paying her.
This is 18 hours ago.
Yeah, it's 18 hours ago. According to her, it's still ongoing.
I'm
Let's
just
see.
reading what he said.
The
Yeah, I
post-
understand. Yes.
Genshin Paimon according to Boker statement. Don't want to show real people if I can avoid it. 18 hours ago. I will no longer voice Paimon until they became a union, so they will probably just replace me. 18 hours. As of 18 hours.
And I'm sure that she wants to get them to sign the AI protection thing, because she doesn't trust them, because in the past they have consistently not paid her on time.
Yep, so they'll just they'll make an AI voice of her own voice. Corporations do this. They're detestable. This is why AI, I knew it wouldn't be good for the general industry, because they're just going to enable more fucking abuse than there already is. AI has only made it worse. You think that they care?
At least
You
for the
think
big
that
companies.
you think that these big companies care about the individual team members or the good writers? You know what they're going to do? They're going to train the AI on their writing and have it regurgitate shit out of it. And it's going to be
Yeah, you can do that
bad.
already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
what
Yeah,
it's
this
doing.
goes back to this goes back to one of my biggest pet peeves about anything data and artificial intelligence related, data ethics, specifically around data collection. That has been a hot topic for a long time now, and this is the latest example of it, this whole artificial intelligence in game development, AAA game development. And it's scummy. It's just scummy. There is an illegal framework for data protection and data ethics around this is scant. Very few industries, like maybe finance is one of the few areas where it's more mature, but with 90% of cases like this of new industries implementing a lot of these statistical and data methods, there are no ethics. There is no institutional knowledge of how you handle these kinds of processes, which means the data ethics is not there. It is not institutionalized, and the abuses are going to be horrific. And it's going to take a while and possibly a few court cases to sort this out.
I want to
So-
read, or just address something that Night Motorcycle is bringing up, because he was saying that he worked as a actor /
Don't make
stuntman.
justifications for it, Frederick. Like the idea of he says the AI is better than AI shit American VAs they use before Parasites did lazy. No, the thing is, that's just stupid argumentation. It's like, let's use bad thing because there are people who are incompetent. Okay, now everyone suffers. Good job.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
So here's the issue. SAG-AFTRA, yes, is a union that's scummy. That
Yes.
doesn't excuse the fact that Hoyo was not paying them for fucking 3 to 5 months.
Yes,
it's like,
we're not on the side of
SAG-AFTRA
SAG
is-
here. I'm not on the side of
it's just-
unions.
Yeah.
SAG in this particular case is, at least as it's being presented, is in the right for basically saying, hey, no, these people do need
Well,
to be paid.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not even going to bother with that. The thing that I find detestable here is that waiting from 3 to 5 months on average to be paid.
Yeah, that's
3 to
unacceptable.
5 months. Chat. Comments are go without pay 5 months. And I don't care if you have before, but did you like that? Do you want to go without pay for 5 months? Motorcyclists, you're going without pay 5 months. I'm just saying examples.
Okay, well, what Czar is saying.
No. I'm not arguing with them. I'm not fighting them. But I'm just like, now picture that for a moment. Without pay. I don't care if you're bad at your job. Going without pay when you agreed that you were going to pay somebody for their work, even if your work kind of sucked, you still pay them. Doesn't mean you pay them again. You fire them afterwards. You let them go. But when you made the agreement to pay them, you don't fucking wait months. You don't wait 5 fucking months to pay the person that worked. You pay them, and that's the end of it. Then, if you
Or
don't
waiting
like that,
5 months to fix the fucking problem.
yes, you just let them go. Okay, you don't like their work? More than fair. You don't like Kevin's work? No offense, Kevin, but you sucked. We're letting you go. But we're paying you. Here's your, 100 or 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, whatever bucks. You respect that. You pay the contract worker. You pay them, and then you move on. If they violated their contract, then you take them to court over it. Bada bing, bada bam. Literally, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Going to 3 to 5 months without pay, 3 to 5 months without pay is not a negotiable issue. It's not a negotiable. If I go to 5 months without pay,
SAG-AFTRA wants monopolization.
yes,
of
he's being
VAs.
autistic.
We,
Don't- Move on.
we
Focus on
understand
our
that.
conversation. Move on. Focus on our conversation. Not you, Bucky. Him. Focus on what we're talking about. Whatever was said in the past doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Now, the SAG about them, they're probably a piece of shit too. Because guess what? They're a fucking union. But you can
The
see.
specific worker values the ability to have some type of protection.
Yes.
Because
she
currently
has no
they're
protection.
at the whims of this fucking company that wasn't paying her for a while.
She is literally living paycheck to paycheck, and she's going 5 months without pay. God help this woman. Where is she going to get her fucking money? Like, you know what happens if that happens to me? Okay, because as somebody who understands this plight, I don't even
Yes,
know. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, okay, I let everybody go. The studio dissolves effectively for 4 months. I might be dead.
You might be kicked out of your apartment.
I will have lost my home. I will literally, either if my family doesn't take me in, I'll be homeless. I will be homeless. This is why I can't stand that, okay? Because like that's if Google doesn't pay me what I'm owed, my cut of my money that I earned, my 70% of my work. They get the 30%, right? So if I don't get that money that Google pays me every month, and Google has paid me every month, so no complaints, Google. Thank you for paying me on time,
Thank you, Overlord.
reliably, every month. You never once have you ever not paid me. Thank you, Google. Because thank God you're not this company. You could literally work for this company. The fact that you go 3 to 5 months, this shows her desperation, chat. She is so desperate to be paid because she's hungry that she's willing to turn to a questionable union because it's that much better than a Chinese corporation. That is what she is put to do. That's just sad. She's in a position in which she has to beg a horrible company, or union, sorry, for help. a union that's detestable, because this corporation is that much worse, because it's a Chinese corporation. Chinese corporations don't care about you. You don't matter. Chinese people hate you. And I will continue to say that because that's true. It's not a lie. They hate you. They hate all of you. All of you. Not a single one of you is an exception. Whether you kowtow, whether you don't. They fucking hate you. And they always will. They never will stop hating you. Never.
Yeah, Night Motorcyclist says that he's gone that long without work because, sometimes work just dries the fuck up, like during COVID.
Yeah, it's how that is.
I feel
Or
bad
that
for you.
industry is.
I hope that never happens to you again, and I hope that happens to nobody in this chat.
Because he was a stunt actor or whatever.
Stunt man. Okay, motorcyclist, come here.
That explains the Night Motorcyclist part of his name. He's supposed to.
Hey.
I can't remember
Okay,
who it is.
so
We can use him for
Alright,
like stuff.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing a slight digging into this. So, two things with this and why people are having such negative reactions against this and are defending Hoyo. Apparently the woman in question has a history of harassing others and lying.
But
It's irrelevant.
But-
Mm. irrelevant.
regardless
She
of
has
that-
to be
regardless of
paid
that-
and then fired.
The thing with
Basic ethics.
Hoyo, I'm also seeing apparently it's another company that was handling the payment that wasn't paying her.
Yeah, but it's
And
still
Hoyo
it's
stepped
still
in to help.
Hoyo's. It's still.
It's responsibility.
Yeah, but
it's still
Hoyo
their-
came in
it's
when
still
that
their
and
fuck up.
paid her in their
Yeah,
place.
let me help. Let me help. Let me help.
The
Let me
thing
help.
is, it never should have
I'll
happened in the
answer
first
this. If for whatever reason Indio doesn't get his pay because we use another company, you know whose fault that is? That's my fault. That's how that works. It's not the other company's fault. I chose to use the other company. I'm at fault. I'm captain of the ship. I take the blame. It's my fault. If Indio doesn't get paid for 3 to 5 months, it's not the other company's fault. We chose them. We should have known better. Because that's not how this stuff works. That iceberg, it's not the fucking... it's not
Yeah.
This is how the world
I'm saying what
works.
I'm seeing people being said and
Yes,
why people
don't
are
care.
reacting
This is
negatively.
how the world works. If that happens, that's on me because it's my responsibility to make sure the team is paid. Because I am the project, not only the project lead, but I'm also I own Battle, like I run Battle Damage Studios. Like it's my thing. If I don't pay the contract workers, that isn't anyone else's fault. That's not Payoneer's fault. That's not PayPal's fault. Guess whose fault that is? My fault. That's my fault. That's how that works. That doesn't there's no excuses. That's why
So
you can't, it's still their fault. Like, I'm sorry, but you fucked up. You shouldn't have done that. You take the blame because I take the blame when that happens. If I fuck up, it's my responsibility. I'm in charge.
Yeah, it's a general rule that no matter how bad the employee is, if they've worked for you, you pay for the work, and then you just don't hire them again.
So
Yep.
here's
I love that.
here's the big thing, right? Like, they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we stepped in and paid him where the third party did. Yeah, when did you do that? Like the week after the payment didn't go through? A month after? 3 months?
5 months?
5 months? Yeah, when like it doesn't matter. You're just leaving out the important part of the information. When did you do it?
Yes, I don't want to
Like,
hear
you can't
apologist
just say-
argumentation. Because apologist argumentation, she could be the worst human being, and I'd never want to work with this woman, but I don't care. If she did work, she should be paid for her work. Because I
To play
understand what it is to be
devil's
self-employed. No, hold on. I don't care about devil's advocate.
I'm just
gonna get through my
I'm just
thing.
finding it
The only
questionable.
thing I care
Okay.
about is that you get paid. You work, you get paid. That's the end of story. If your work is shit, if Karina turns out that she harasses other people, fire her. But pay her
Yep.
and send her out the door. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. None of this other shit. You pay them, get out. Next person, come on in. That's how it's done. That's how it's done in the business. That's how it's done in the industry. That's how it's done everywhere. You pay them, get out. We're letting you go. I had programmers we worked with. They couldn't keep up with Robin. A Robin is better than them. I paid them, and then they were out the door. That's how it's done. That's how it's always been done. That's how it's always will be done. You get paid when the job's done, and once the job's done, if I didn't like your work, you're out.
Yep.
Now,
Eh.
to say what I wanted to say,
You were interrupting. That's why I didn't want to let you interrupt.
You're on your rant.
That's not a rant. That's literally
It was
how
a
this
rant.
works.
There's an explanation. Just fucking talk, Squealy. Jesus.
Now,
Quit fucking
play
taking
devil's
snapshots.
advocate. So, play devil's advocate. This is a reoccurring thing that's been going on with Hoyo for like a long time now. From what I know of this kind of situation, just for whatever reason, their English VAs are getting shafted constantly. Is it still Hoyo's fault that they haven't fucking rectified it?
Yes,
Yeah, very much.
100% their fault actually. None of the blame
But-
goes anywhere else.
I am curious what the third party is doing because like I want to see why they're fucking everything up constantly.
I'm mildly curious why they keep continuing to work for the company that's not paying them.
Why is
I
Hoyo
feel
continuing
like-
to work with this company that has trouble paying their people?
Also, that yes.
I
why?
feel like
why
that
is
might be nepotism.
Contract.
That's just my. Oh, sure, but it's like, how did they get the contract in the first place? That's my gut reaction.
Regardless, the contract has a signing thing. Usually, it's you can't work for anybody else during this period of contract.
Yep, there's probably
You
a
just can't
clause
take on
about
a
like,
second. Yeah,
assuming they had
second
lawyers,
projects and shit.
there should be clauses where if they break the contract, it's null and void.
Oh, also remember, it's China.
That's also
But she doesn't have a lawyer, so
No.
she can't fight
so
any of that.
yeah, here's the thing. In China, you're not human being. None of you are. None of you in chat are human beings. You don't have rights in China. You're not recognized as a human being. You are less than an animal. It basically, in terms of how their legal system recognizes you. You don't have rights. You don't have-
Even Chinese citizens don't really have rights.
They have more rights than we do. We're not even considered human. We're not even
Less than human.
You
But
wanna
yeah,
move on
if
to
so
I remember right,
Borderlands?
the
even
big
their
thing
like,
is
IP
no matter
protection
what,
doesn't-
no matter what, it's on Hoyo because Hoyo's fuck up. Whether whether if I have an artist that's using Payoneer, which this has happened in the past, Payoneer takes 3 to 5 business days to process a payment to one of my artists. One time, they took a month. You know whose fault that is? Not Payoneer's. My fault. So what did I
was
do?
there for that.
I canceled that and sent it through PayPal instead. It was a lot less than what it could have been, but I had to up it. So it's cost me out of pocket more because I had to do that because it's my responsibility. I said that if they do this amount of work hour, I'm going to pay them a grand flat or whatever it is, then I'm going to pay them. It's not, oh, boo-hoo, Payoneer fucked up. Sorry, you don't get your pay. That's not how the world works. That's not how any of this works. They don't care about that. They need their money, and they need it now. They need to be able to buy the things they need. They need to pay the bills and groceries, whatever it is. It's their money. I owe them that money. That money is not my money anymore. That belongs to them. So they need to get it. And so Payoneer fucked up, and so that's why we went around it. I lost more money, but I had to do it because Payoneer was fucking up. They kept not transferring the funds and like fucking around. And so I had to use a different thing. It's not Payoneer's fault. It's my fault because it's my job to make sure they're paid on time. Not Payoneer's, not PayPal's, not any other business processor. That's the way how the business works. Because I'm the only one who can fix the issue. I'm the one who gives them their money. That means taking responsibility. That's what being a leader means. You take responsibility. Like when you lead a project, when you lead a team, I'm responsible for all of them. I said that they'll be paid and they'll get paid every month, whatever. That's why we fill up that dono goal. If that dono bar doesn't get filled up today, we'll fall behind a little bit. But it has to be filled up by the end of the month and it has to be on time. If it isn't, I failed them. Not chat, not you. It's not your fault. It's no one else's fault. The only one person to blame is me. Because that's how the business world works. The leader is in charge. The leader fucks up and other people suffer for it. Just like the captain on a ship fucks up, people suffer, people die. That is how this world works. A leader must be responsible and must always be doing their utmost to keep the ship right, so to speak. That's my tangent on that, mostly because it pisses me off because I don't like apologists. Like, no one should apologize for me, ever. I could be blank Gibbs, yeah, sure. If that helps you, if that's memeable, yes, unironically. That's important.
Welcome to the stream, Blake.
Hey, welcome to Stream Blake. Because no matter what, The company is responsible for paying its people, always. And the idea of not paying them, because I know my team very well, like it's unstomachable. 3 to 5 months is I can't even describe how angry that makes me. The idea that a company could go 3 to 5 months without paying their personnel. I just can't. I can't. It's just fucking awful. You pass blame on the people below you. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. That's what apologists are trying to do. They're trying to, it's not the Chinese company's fault. It's the third party's fault. Well, who made the deal with the third party? It's just fucking annoying. Annoying. I hate it. All right, that's my anger with like the idea of not paying people.
Actually,
because I know what that's like. My
Is
entire
Hoyo
family's
owned by anyone,
lived
or they're
as
their own
private
company?
businesses, so I understand what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. Because that's been my life.
They're in China, so they're owned by China.
Well, yes.
Their profits was forced into a nuclear reactor. So
What? Oh
That's
yeah.
not even- that's
they
not
took
even
Hoyo's
10
profits
cents.
to make a fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, unironically, that was actually a news story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the
MiHoYo,
communist
which is the
government
company.
will take all
Yeah.
monies.
They basically took most of the profits to make a nuclear reactor.
They can build a
To
nuclear
fund the
reactor,
nuclear
but they
reactor,
can't
yeah.
pay their personnel. I see how it is.
Well, no, it's because the Chinese government above them took the money to do that.
I'm just saying, if they have that much
You're-
if they have that kind of money,
they
they
have
should.
autonomy, kids.
I know, but their
Their assets are
personnel
7
needs to be
billion.
paid. Doesn't
They
matter.
have the money.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, they actually are their own entity. They're not owned by like Tencent or something.
You pay your people. That's what you do. You do not pay your people. Even if your people fuck up, even if they do a shit job, you let them go, but you pay them. You keep the
Let
record
out of your
straight.
system.
No, I'm angry.
I think
I mean-
that's the end of the
Your
conversation.
rant?
Let's end on Kibbs being angry.
Here, squeeze them. Get all that steam out. Squeeze them faster.
That's actually.
Kids,
fucking
would
made me
you
upset.
trust a Chinese-made nuclear
Yeah.
reactor?
No.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I
Maybe.
trust it. I trust it.
I
to
trust it to
blow up.
blow up in China.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay.
Imagine a nuclear reactor in China just made out of styrofoam.
Imagine
Yeah,
you put that
oh,
right
yeah,
next to the
that's-
you put it right next to the biggest river and the biggest dam and something happens.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate this conversation. I hate this thing. I don't care if Corinna is the shittiest person on earth, like fire harass, like whatever, but like 3 to 5
of
3 to
waiting
5
that long for a
months.
paycheck is annoying.
If you hate that
Oh my
conversation, look
I'd
at
be
what India-
homeless. If I do shit job, do I still get paid? No. Well, actually, yeah, you do.
you get paid and you get fired.
once, and then fired.
Yeah, then you get fired.
I'm of the opinion if you do such a bad job that if you fuck it up and I have to pay someone else to fix your shit,
Well, that's okay.
you
So
shouldn't be paid.
the big thing here is this is where this comes in, right? So if I pay Indio, like Indio, I want a thumbnail for what are we doing? Dune, Killzone, whatever. I'm just looking over there. I'm at the table of games. Good ideas. I want a video game for Killzone for Killzone thumbnail. He makes the thumbnail and he doesn't deliver what I asked for. I'm like, okay, that's not what I asked for. Like, you just drew a fucking squirrel eating a fucking potato chip. Like,
Try again.
Why
you
is it-
didn't.
why is
You
it
didn't.
Squirrel Kibbs?
You didn't. I don't know. I'm just using you as a basis. But like, that's not what I asked for. Like, you need to deliver. And then if he draws a stick figure with a Killzone helmet, and then I'll be like, okay, here's your money. I'm never working with you again. Never working with you again. Because that's how it works. As long as you deliver what I asked for, I'll still pay you. But if it's fucking bad, I'm probably never going to use you again. I'll be like, this is just... What's going to happen is I'm going to throw that thing in the garbage, and then I'm going to go, Beano, draw me a Killzone thumbnail.
Bino, just me Bino.
Gas Victim, it's $5. I trust the Chinese-made reactor. They stole the tech and designs from the U.S. Lamau.
Yeah, but did they implement
Yeah,
it
but
well?
So,
all the materials are
here-
going to be
here's
the
actually
lowest
something-
possible cost.
Here's something of interest I know. While the U.S. has more nuclear reactors than China does, China is building more of them currently than we are.
Sure, but here's the thing: Chinese construction is notoriously shit.
Yes.
It falls
So-
apart in the span of a year or so.
I have to question how like what quality of the reactor is actually being made. Is like a
Given that
mini?
the
Is like a
concrete
little? Is
literally contains styrofoam and bamboo.
it...
Ah, boom.
Low quality. Like,
Wanna move on to laughing at Randy Pitchford now?
thumbnails.
All right, is there any more articles you have for me, Fuzzy?
Well, I had 2 more, but you went on a long
The answer's
rant.
no, Fuzzy. You don't have them.
We can save that for next week.
I want our piece of fuzzy.
So yeah, we went on for a long time on
Shut
this
the fuck
one.
up! Shut the
See,
fuck up!
I think
mate!
Bucky.
Fuzzy needs to be the
I
one
don't
with
like
the
Bucky.
chart.
Bucky knows is starting to learn how to push my buttons, and that's why he sent this article.
Starting.
Starting.
Because this article is
Starting.
literally like I got like this big red button that says "Do not press," and this article just like
Yeah, I
it
know.
just pushes it down,
I don't
and
know
then
what you're
it,
talking about,
and
guys.
then the squirrel looks up at me and stares at me as he holds it down. It's a little.
What you did is you gave Bucky a little button, and you were just like, "So do not press this red button because if you do press, you don't know what it did press."
Oh, Frederick, a malfunction in a power plant in a in a communist country not working, and they refuse to shut it down. You don't say.
Plague asks, have you told that Stellar Blade removed region lock on their game as well? Released the game?
The game demo.
Demo. That I did not know, and that is excellent news. Region locks are bad. Region locks are f***ing retarded. I'm sorry, but
Were we talking about earlier about Chinese region lock good
no,
or potentially good?
I don't think I still disagree. The region lock is good. They should be allowed to play the game, but I think that it's up onto the developers to factor them out of the equation, so that they can't sabotage orders when they throw a tantrum. Because that's not hard to
speaking of
do. If they
demos.
factor it.
Jump Ship's gonna apparently have a demo in the next fest coming out. In
Also,
2
I don't
weeks.
like the idea. One quick thing. Oh, that's interesting. But I will say one quick note is that I don't like the idea of punishing every Chinese player, because so happens that this group did ruin it. Like, yes, there is a large, like, thousands of players that tried to sabotage the game. However, just because that's the case doesn't mean that every single Chinese gamer is bad. And I saw many reviews where there were Chinese reviewers leaving reviews that were lamenting the situation, actually. So I think punishing all of them would be unjust and unfair, because those ones didn't do anything wrong.
I want to point
That's
out
true.
that
It's not all of them.
there's only 15,000 current recent reviews.
Yeah.
So it's not. If you know anything about the population of China, that's rather low.
Also, if you want to see a proper
It's
piece
not
of
all.
review bombing, look at the original one with the PlayStation Network stuff.
That one's
Oh,
massive because that's
I
a
don't think-
genuine review bomb.
I don't
Yes.
think China authorizes Chinese people to play Helldivers.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so,
it's-
because it's
I'm
like
pretty
sure it's
managed
not actually
democracy and
available.
like
So it's just people.
They have
Playing-
to
people
do
getting
getting around
around
the
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And anybody you see on Twitter is also not authorized to be on Twitter
Yep.
unless they're
Because
CCP.
they're- You know what I say? They're either like directly related to party members, or like they have in with high-ranking party members.
The big thing
to
I
be able to do
remember
that.
is our friend Doge played this what's it, Company Heroes 2, and he made a friend with this Chinese guy. And this Chinese guy is actually the son of like some CCP guy, right? And they're playing this game, and like he's like, yeah, no, like the people inside the government or whatever who are like favorable or whatever, or on in the popular side
In
of
the,
CCP.
like
They
in the
play
circle.
Western games. They watch Western movies. They do Western stuff all the time. In fact, they prefer it over the Eastern stuff because they think it's crap. It's just the reason why is entirely due to the fact that they have special privileges because it's basically nobility. so they get special exemptions from the rules. Interesting, isn't it? Chatfishies. Big tickies.
Nothing will amuse me more than this story of a government inspector coming to view the lands of some region, and the person in charge of it had the people go around gluing rocks to rebar and just placing them everywhere, because from a helicopter view it looked like cotton fields.
That's fucking funny. That's a lot of metal and a lot of rocks. I'm almost
Yeah,
impressed with
it's
the amount
China.
of work it took to pull off that hoax.
They have a lot of hands, so you know.
The one thing China definitely has in abundance is people.
Pretty much.
And pollution. Lots and lots of pollution.
What do you think of that,
Definitely
chat
more China
froze?
than India.
Chabo.
India.
But yeah, the other thing we didn't talk about really quickly is Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade looks interesting. It's a game where the developer said that he thinks his game should be $70 because otherwise it might not be good. Which is
I believe it was 60,
or 60 or
because that way people know it's a high quality.
whatever.
I do. I don't remember the exact number. I do remember that.
I understand
type of
why
folk
he
going
came to that
around.
conclusion. I just find that's so out of touch with reality. Most of the games I have the most
Big brain
hours in
Korea.
are either like 20 or $40. In the $60 games, I have the least amount of time in. Press has been a member for 30 months as a loyal bucket slave. He's like, loyal.
Yeah.
I trust Shining Man Reactor caught up, and thank you for
Oh,
your
yeah.
long-term support, little
Um,
Present. But
I
I'll take the
saw
rest of the
I
articles
saw a
for next
meme a
stream.
while back
well,
regarding like tariffs. the memes regarding tariffs. There are third parties in China that are upselling the fuck out of things and using tariffs as a excuse to do so. So you'll get like a package that was worth like $20 and it'll shoot up to $90.
yep. There's the whole tariff
Oh,
myth
so bad.
where digital products are like, we have to increase the price of it, but it's digital.
Walmart is raising their
You're
prices.
not shipping it
because tariffs.
overseas, you lying shit.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
downloading it.
That's the shit that fucking amuses me.
I'm downloading.
Where it's just like, but this product was produced just in Idaho. I'll just say Idaho, and it's just like, but it still is getting a price hike, and it's like, but why?
It's in
Tariffs.
We
country.
saw an opportunity.
What's frustrating is a lot of you're starting to see more and more electronics these days come out of
You don't
Vietnam and
even
other places
export.
and not
It's like,
China.
Yeah, maybe.
There's like a lot of
Is
Is that if you actually look at the
shops.
It is good to see though a lot of bigger industries reopening up in the U.S. though,
Mhm. That's true. Maybe America will be powerful and soon
especially the
destroy
What if
tech
it-
European
industry, and
fishes.
making our own
No.
damn microchips.
Yeah,
and
because
stuff.
unironically, one of the reasons that China doesn't want like manufacturing going back to the US is we're actually losing
Alright.
a lot of.
We're starting to segue out of
Okay.
video
Now-
games.
Now we.
Yes.
Now we.
no, yeah.
So I think this
Yeah,
is a great
'cause-
spot to wrap up. We had a great
Yeah,
stream.
where somebody wasn't
Yeah.
paid for 3 to 5 months.
Shut up. Okay, I've already vented, so I'm feeling at peace now by hearing it. I don't
you're
don't
not.
feel.
Just
abundant-
click back to one of the Helldivers thumbnails. that'll make you happy.
I've said what I wanted to say. That's good, but that's
No, you want the one holding the teddy bear. There you go.
yes.
Look at that teddy bear.
The teddy bear
it's a
brings
teddy-
Look at the
peace.
teddy bear and the
Is that
shovel.
a titty diver? Because it looks like it has a helmet on.
It does. Now quit
It is a
fucking
teddy diver.
procrastinating. We're gonna be playing Prey.
And fuzzy.
But I
Twenty-six.
titled the game Psycho Shock because that's the actual game's name, what the developers wanted. So I'm gonna see
That
if that.
unironically would have been such a good name, but they missed their
Would have been
fucking
much better.
opportunity.
So I'm calling it Psycho Shock. We're gonna go stream Psycho Shock. I'm gonna go to the grocery store real quickly and get some tea because I don't want to drink water
Because
out of
he's
the faucet.
angry and he needs to calm down.
And I
he needs
drank
to-
all my tea. And yeah, I kind of need to just get a little bit of breath fresh air because I'm a little wound up from that.
So he's
Oh,
not
no.
over.
Oh
He's
no,
not
Chad
over.
Gibbs is gonna go get cigarettes and milk. And
I'm gonna
never
go
come back.
vent
not over
to the
the
cashier
idea that
lady
someone
and be
wasn't paid
like,
for a while.
Do not vent to the cashier lady.
They'll
Leave
be
her
like-
alone.
I'll be like, oh my god, I hate China. And they'll be like, look at me and I'm like, what?
I'll just wait like 30 minutes and I'll randomly text Kibbs some article about like
Oh.
Chinese companies doing bad things.
It was
Like
specifically
kicking-
seeing
firing all the Japanese devs.
a team
out of the
member being
fucking-
unpaid for 3 to 5 months. Like, have I fucked up before? Yes. Have I missed
Yes.
like a few days before? Yes. But the idea of 3 to 5 months is, oh my god. Oh, I just
Remember when kids forgot about the games they funded and then never played them for a long time?
Who said that? You said
He
that.
did.
We're playing them.
There's 35 in queue.
Working.
There are 35 in queue.
All right, we'll see you in the Psycho Shock stream, chat. It's going to be scary. I'm probably going to be a little bitch in it because I don't handle scary
You
things
are.
well.
You
So
will
you
be.
can't be mean to me. No laughing at me.
I will.
No
Be
making
forced
fun
to
of
play
me.
certain ways, chat.
Will?
No being like whipping a big baby. Okay, because it's not gonna
I'll
happen.
say stop being a bitch.
Tell him to go melee only.
Bitch, baby kid.
We'll see you in the scary Psycho Shock game. Oh, God, no, I don't want to play it. God damn it. All right, we'll see you in a little bit, chat.
Whiny little guy.
See ya.
No.
I lied. I forgot to set up the thing to raid in there. Hold on, chat. Pretend we
You
left
fucked
already.
up. You fucked
on.
up. I hate you.
Hold
I
on.
hate Kib. I hate.
Okay,
Hate.
okay, there we go. All right.